Yeah, it is.
That's the point.
But that's how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they told me anyway off the bat. They were like, "Hey,
this is an interesting cat.
You lead the crossover, even though it's part of the next show." Like, okay.
I always thought that too. Like
Yeah.
it's your show now, so
Yeah.
you
No.
should.
No.
Maybe
Look at me. Look at me.
That
Look
is
at
a
me.
visual representation of passing the torch to
And the same
next-
thing in the next show.
Yes,
It should be
correct.
John welcoming. you.
Look at me. Look at me. I'm the captain now.
I guess you are.
I'm the captain.
You and your beef sticks.
I love beef sticks. We do need. This
Shout
is a
out beef
shout
sticks.
out to anybody listening here at Energy Omaha. I doubt anybody is. We need healthier options in the vending machine.
Healthier.
Healthier.
You want like a
Michelle
cucumber in there?
Obama?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
Is
I want
Matt McMaster the Michelle Obama of 1620 the
Poll
zone?
question.
Matt
Poll
McMaster
question.
going to ruin our vending machine. We're going to have
Look.
soy and tofu.
Yeah.
No,
Vegetables.
no.
Are you going to redo the food pyramid?
If anything, I'm the RFK. I want more protein.
Whoa.
I want steak and eggs.
Oh, you want
I want-
You're a what do they call those carnivores?
Yes, I'm on the
He's like,
carnivore diet.
I only talk about meat.
I only eat meat
I mean,
and butter and
oh,
eggs.
I
I
love
don't.
to talk
I don't
about
put
meat.
any of those poisonous seed oils or bread or carbs into my body.
What do you think about oranges? Do you think we could put oranges in the vending machine?
I would love if there was fresh food in the.
You guys think there's a guy coming every day
Yeah.
to swap this food
No,
out?
no. How often is it,
Once
Josh?
every like 2 or 3 weeks
Okay.
tops.
All right. Those packs of gum have probably been in there for a while.
Oh yeah.
Probably.
Probably about as long as Gary, since he's the oldest
Wow.
here.
Has anybody gone over there and grabbed a pack of juicy fruit?
Mr. Wrigley put those in the vending machine
Yeah.
himself.
Mr.
like a-
Kugler was like, I like that flavor. This is great. I love
We
working
need to
here.
have juicy fruit.
The juicy fruit is like the cheese touch of like the was that Diary of a Wimpy Kid? Is that too young for you?
I don't know what that is.
Wow. Sorry, that's the first time ever where I
Wow.
said a reference that was on the other side of the spectrum.
Wait,
Of
what?
age.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid? Isn't that a what year is that?
Yeah, my generation had Anne Frank. We didn't have Wimpy Kid. That was what we studied in school.
Different diaries.
What year-
Different diaries.
I was like this was 2008, 2009.
Yeah,
was the
that-
first book.
Yeah,
But like you
that's
have it-
way like I'm graduating high school. at
but
that
it was
point.
famous. It was like a pop culture phenomenon.
So they made a
Diary of
movie.
Wimpy.
They made a movie,
They
right?
made two.
Two?
I think they made two movies.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You're
not a
have
date movie.
You have a baby.
I have a child.
Yes.
Congrats.
So maybe not yet,
Thanks.
but when they become a little bit older and they can watch those types of movies, it would be a good movie for
Really?
them to watch.
What is it a tale of?
It's just a Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
All right. Well, I don't want my kid to be a
You
wimpy
could
kid.
opt
It's
for
just like-
Predator, which
it's
teaches
one of-
teamwork and
You
togetherness.
won't watch them.
Actually, I wouldn't.
It's
I
like
wouldn't
a,
show my daughter that.
it's like a G-rated Napoleon Dynamite a little bit. You
Oh,
know, like
okay.
it's a little like the
Just show
guy's
them
a
the actual
loser.
one.
His name's Greg Heffley. He's an absolute loser, and it's him
Wow.
like working his way up through the social hierarchy that is like junior high,
okay.
and it's like
So
his
it's like Mean
experiences.
Is
But
it
then-
inspirational in any way?
Yeah, I mean, he becomes less of a loser at the end of it, but
Okay.
it's funny. It's a comedy. He's got a brother named Roderick, and Roderick is like in high school, and he's like the big like band troublemaker or whatever. And so it's like that dynamic. Like one brother is a wimpy idiot.
And so is this like
Loser.
is this a cornerstone movie of your childhood?
It's a cornerstone book
cornerstone book.
because everybody read the books growing up. It was
What
one
were
of
the
the
books that people were reading when I was in
Yeah.
Escuela?
If you weren't
2008.
up to date with Harry Potter or Diary of the Wimpy Kid, if you weren't in one of those two branches, you were a loser.
when I was in
Whoa.
elementary school, I wanted to get all the Captain Underpants books.
Oh, see, I love Captain Underpants.
Captain Underpants.
How about Big Nate?
and then all the posters from the
Big
book
Boy.
from the book fair.
You know, Big Nate was Big Nate
Yes.
after you.
What's Big Nate?
Big
Oh,
Nate is like a kind of like Captain Underpants, where it's like book meets comic type deal.
okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
the Big Nate books. That was another deal
Wow.
where it's like it was cool. Like Big Nate was like the
Big
cool
Nate.
kid that like he was like
Big dog.
Was he an offensive tackle? 'Cause
Big-
that would be.
Big Nate was
We
like
need him here.
Yeah.
Big Nate was like Snoopy if he was a human. You know,
Oh.
he was the human Snoopy. He was like just real chill, just a
Okay.
chill guy.
Josh, can you confirm any of these things?
No, I have no idea what the hell you guys are talking about.
Awesome.
Okay. And if Josh can't confirm it, we're in trouble. You had me at Book Fair, Connor.
Book
Shout
Fair.
out Book Fair.
Yeah, we love the book fair.
posters.
Deion
Yes.
Sanders with the Cowboys.
I got a
Jordan.
Blue Devils poster.
There was this book, and I think it's got to be still floating around somewhere in my possessions. But it was a book.
The Bible.
It was a book of all of the young up and coming shortstops in Major League Baseball,
Oh.
and it was Jeter and A-Rod and Nomar Garciaparra.
Yeah.
And
Nomar.
I was like, these are the guys. These are the guys. Nomar didn't stick around for that long, but
that dance he used to do.
then Jeter and A-Rod,
We had a book that was
they hung around for a little while.
We had the book that was like the best nicknames, best sport nicknames, and so it was just this big book, and you just flip through them. You know,
Yeah.
We
And
had
it was
Chris
just
Berman.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
even I know that. The sleeping with the enemy. You know?
No. That's all we had. We had Chris Berman.
He basically wrote the book.
Yeah. So like the mailman and the glove and air and
F that first.
The fridge.
the captain, the fridge.
Yeah.
Wasn't there was a guy on the Cowboys they called the kitchen. Come on,
Kitchen?
the kitchen. He was a big
Oh,
dude.
I think that was Nate Newton's nickname.
There you
The
go.
Great Wall of Dallas.
There you
Kitchen.
go.
Have you guys ever perused the
I never called him that.
the football reference or the basketball reference?
Oh
pages
my
for the-
god, it's
for
one of my favorite things to do.
the nicknames are absurd.
Give me a random. This is great for you, Odson. This is right in your slant. Give me a random NBA basketball player.
Why is this right up Hudson's alley?
Detlef Shrimp.
Nice.
What's it? Who? What?
You
He
never heard
gets a
Detlef
lot of
Shrimp?
airplay on this station because that's John Schreiner's guy too. So now when I see him, I
Funny
think
name.
of John.
It's just a great name.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
He was good too.
Yeah.
From the University of Washington.
Detlef. Oh my god! I literally wrote in.
I think he made an appearance on Parks and Rec.
Do you want to look at my
And the
Google? Look at my
1996
Google.
NBA Finals.
What did I type in?
Dead left shrimp. Yeah.
Did it come up?
It came up.
Basket by Deadlift Shrimp.
Okay.
what
here we
are
go.
his nicknames on there?
His nickname.
Deadlift.
The
That-
Dunking Dutchman, probably something like that. I
Big
guess he
Deep.
was German, wasn't
Mr. Shrimp.
No, I don't see any here.
Rick
Okay.
Smiths was the Duncan Dutchman.
Oh, here it
One
is.
of Detlef's
The Grand.
teammates,
Oh, I don't even
professors.
know how to say this. The Grand Teuton.
he? Teuton?
Teuton. The Grand
don't know.
Teuton.
So you're talking about the late great Rick Tootin.
What do you
Hunter.
think Dan Marley's nickname was?
Thunder Dan.
Thunder Dan
Yeah, I was
Marley.
there.
Yeah, that one's pretty public.
Is that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are 90s guys that were playing. But I like Dan Marley. Let's see. Lou Williams is always a good one.
Sweet Lou.
Lemon
Not a
Pepper-
90s
Lemon
guy.
Pepper
Lemon
Lou.
Pepper Lou.
Lemon Pepper Lou. For sure. That one's
Do-
definitely
Do you
on there.
guys know Kirk Heinrich's nickname?
I knew Kirk Heinrich.
Yeah, I knew Kirk
Did
Heinrich.
you? Yeah, did you know him, or did you?
I mean, we didn't like go on double dates and share RC colas, but yes, I do have a story where I know Kirk Heinrich.
You guys
but I
were
can't tell
bros.
on the air.
Underground.
You guys went to
goat.
the wheel? You guys were at the
Somewhere.
wheel?
You guys went to the Hawk.
Yeah, I haven't been to the Hawks since I was 20.
How many college bars can you name that you didn't go to that college?
Dude, that's a good question. That's a good
It
question. I only spent one night, I think, in Lawrence. Popped around to a few of them.
Hell yes.
A couple nights in Madison. Those
Yeah.
are some good bars up there.
See,
Shout out Aggieville. I'm not taking a shot. I've had a lot of fun in Aggieville.
Nice.
I did the Trinity at University
Ribs,
of Illinois
brisket,
Urbana
sausage?
Champaign.
Oh, I went there for their St. Patrick's Day celebration
that's
one day.
awesome.
It was pain.
So I
It's called unofficial.
I did Cam's, Red Lion, and Joe's
Yeah.
all in one day.
I
And
just
they were
I
like,
was just at a house, and then I think we got Chinese food at like 3:00 in the
Nice.
afternoon. Yeah.
dude, I got Chinese food. My dad and I, we were alone for Christmas because we just had the family elsewhere or whatever. So it was him and I. We got Chinese
Ooh,
food for
I'll need
Christmas,
to do that.
and it was awesome.
love Chinese food.
Captain Kirk Heinrich.
Captain Kirk. That makes sense.
Also, William Shatner.
They have they had this place called. If someone's from Notre Dame and they're listening to me,
they
you
don't
can
like you
correct
because
me.
you said they wouldn't score.
they don't
True.
like me in general because I say a lot of things. They had this place called I think Oofs or something like that, but then it closed down and they opened up a new one. So now they call it Noofs, like new Oofs, but they call it Noofs.
See,
And then they have this
Clever.
place called Backer Inn, Linebacker Inn, just an awesome place to grab a beer.
need a linebacker.
Exactly. What are you looking up?
So there was this thing recently, what brought me into the nicknames thing. There was this tweet or this Reddit post or something like that about the woman in the relationship was trying to get her significant other a gift, and she didn't know the name of the man's favorite NBA player, but she could describe him in a way. And
Okay.
I hope it wasn't Greg Oden.
and
Careful.
she was like, and I'm trying to find the actual like post here.
Sure.
But it was like, I think his favorite team is the Lakers.
Okay.
But she was actually trying to describe Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Oh, no.
And she said one of the the name that she thought it sounded like.
Giannis Anthony Kupo.
What it was really, really funny, but I got to find that.
Called Greg for
Can
sure.
you imagine if it's like, yeah, Antetokounmpo on the Lakers, and they're like, his favorite player is Kostas Antetokounmpo?
Yes,
Who
hell
did-
yes.
who did-
Thanasis?
Well, Thanasis was on the Bucks, but
So was
Kostas
Paul McKeskey.
was on the Lakers. Kostas played at Dayton, if I'm not mistaken. And then there's
Dayton?
guys, don't come on.
Like Dayton Moore.
By the way,
Creighton, Dayton?
Dayton.
Well,
That's
Day-
all.
Yes.
Dayton.
I can't do, the Peyton Manning commercial. I can't do it.
Peyton?
Peyton and Peyton, it's the same thing. It's the same word.
Oh, I
Peyton.
see what he did. There.
Peyton.
Peyton.
You mean Peyton Manning?
Peyton.
But I have to say painting in order for it to.
Why can't you say what's wrong?
Because my tongue is weird.
Peyton.
Peyton.
Nope.
I know. Peyton. But it's bad. It's not subtle. I can't do the subtleties of the tins.
Okay.
I'm bad at tins.
Guess
Tins,
so.
you said?
Yeah, and then you just turn them into dins.
Dayton,
Yes.
Creighton. My whole family went to Dayton, which is funny.
Dayton.
This is why you couldn't go in. You could say Nebraska.
Yeah, that's not hard. Omaha ain't bad either.
Hey, and you're here now.
I say Omaha like a true Omahan.
The Ha.
Gosh, I can't find this, and I don't know
Oh
what to
my God.
Google to get to it. It's one of those things.
Reddit girlfriend Giannis Antetokounmpo.
This should go well.
Girlfriend.
If I know my Reddit.
Giannis
Antetokounmpo.
description.
Captain Kirk, yeah, he was the he was the
NSFW.
captain of a very middling Bulls franchise, which still is middling somehow.
He was one Jerry McNamara short of a national championship.
Yeah. Jerry
I remember.
McNamara.
How are you?
Jerry McNamara. That's the guy.
That was a fun
You
night.
can't find it.
No,
This
I
is
can't.
kind of embarrassing.
I
You live in the
apologize.
21st century. You're a host on a radio show, and you can't find something
Well,
on the
and
internet.
then I
10 to 2
figured-
every day.
I figured I was going to be able to find it because they actually had put it on his basketball reference page for a second
Oh, sure.
as a nickname,
As a nickname.
and they must have taken it off. It was a bit.
Do you
for one
know-
night. Maybe a Twitter search?
Kevin
for it.
Suits in Lincoln still looks up Google.com in the Google browser.
That's wild.
We
He's-
worked with someone like
so
that. She's
he-
old.
I was working with him, and he one day I was sitting behind him because he loves Sporkle. That was his
Ah,
thing. That was his
yes.
jam. So
Dude,
we would be like,
great take by Kevin.
so we would be like in the dead of summer. Like the only thing we're doing is Salt Dogs baseball and Legion baseball, and like we have a 9:00 sportscast, and it's like we're already done at like 7:30, so we're just chilling out. So he would just look up Sporkle, and we would just crank them out, and it was the best. And he goes, "All right, let's do it." And he goes in, and he goes to the browser and goes Google.com, and I go, "There's no way you
Google.
just did that."
Google.com.
Did he
I was
type
like-
the HTTP://
No. He just said he just went to
that's
the
next
top.
level.
He just
Oh,
went
yeah.
to the top browser of Google Chrome and
What's-
goes Google.com. I go, "There's no way that you didn't ironically do that." And he's like, "Do what?" And I'm like, "You don't have to do that."
When's the last time you guys typed in www?
I'm going to say 8th grade.
Yeah,
97.
it's been some time.
There have been times where I've had to like log into specific things for school or whatever, and I had to copy
I remember
the
those days.
address from my phone over to the computer, and so I had to specifically do that.
Yeah.
So
Now,
yeah, I'm
you
coming
could-
out of school.
I have to
I
do
haven't
it.
done it since I graduated.
Yeah, but now you can just you could zap the address over to your computer.
Yeah. Oh my God. So
Don't we love
I
technology?
logged
folks?
in to a Fire TV, and they're like, "Hey, you don't want to type it using your remote? You can just scan the QR code, and you can do it on your phone."
That
and
has
then-
helped.
And then all of a sudden, I started
Dramatically.
having the remote,
Yeah, your
on my
remote's on your phone.
and I'm like, "Why can't we do this for everything? Why can't there just
See,
be one universal app?"
That's one step I don't want to take.
That's
I don't.
fighting
wa-
the ball for a first down.
I don't want my phone to be my remote.
I do, because I lose remotes like an MFer.
That's
and key
not
cards,
surprising.
apparently.
You left the key card to the building already?
Already.
It's tough.
He's on number 2. He's on the backup.
So you would never subscribe to my guarantee, which is there it is, bottom right over by Scofro.
Yeah.
I will never lose my wallet ever. I made that guarantee one of my
Okay.
first days doing this show,
So let me tell you something.
and I will never ever lose my wallet.
I've never lost my wallet.
Oh,
But you've lost
famous last words.
parts of your wallet.
I've lost things that are supposed to be in my wallet, like a debit card or a key card or gift card, or I haven't lost my ID. No, that's not true. I lost my ID.
Nice.
I've lost the contents.
Everything but the wallet.
Everything. Oh my god, the amount of times that I left my ID at Sandy's or something like that.
Who's
and
she?
Like Sandy's bar in Lincoln.
Oh,
Elk Creek water.
Oh, Elk Creek water. Anyway,
Horrendous.
so good.
Yeah, it makes me.
You ever have them put grenadine in it?
No.
Oh.
I've never judged up my Elk Creek water.
Oh, you got to judge it up, my man. You ever go there on Valentine's Day?
I
They do
haven't
it
been
for
to
you.
Sandy since I was in my
can't
early 20s.
picture
So,
the
like,
Happers
4
going there on
years ago.
Valentine's.
No, it was more than 10 years ago, Matt. I'm 30, almost 3.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Connor.
Yeah.
You look good.
Thank you.
Good. You look good.
Only because I shaved my head last night.
No, no one rocks. Like, I don't have the head apparatus in order to be bald, which is why I'm worried about me being bald, because I just don't have. You do. You got the James McAvoy Professor X, just perfectly square.
Thank you.
Look like you came
was,
straight out. You look like a cadaver.
I was doing a bit at the game last Saturday,
Yeah.
and we had to pre-tape it and go into one of the convention centers where the lights are really like harsh and bright. And so we taped it and we came back and the person who was working on it was like, I there was some light thing that I had to go back and like post edit, and then I figured out it was just the light shining off the baldness of your head. And I was like, well, nothing I can do about that. That's
The glare. The glare is too much.
Go Jays.
Tough look.
They
for
got to
me.
get new cameras for the in-game entertainment.
Or I have to
because-
start makeuping my head.
True. I wonder what Kojak
Oh
did.
no!
Yeah.
Wouldn't you get acne though if that went in the wrong
I-
area,
I
in the
have
wrong
no-
crevasses?
I have no idea. I don't know. I've never make-upped anything.
I've had to do makeup because I was in musical theater, so I had to.
Whoa. Okay, here we
Yeah,
go.
you buried the lead here.
Here we go.
No,
Welcome to the crossover, every level, all that stuff.
I
we go.
was Willy Wonka in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh my God. Hang
Gene
on.
Wilder, McMaster.
Yeah.
I was Willy Wonka and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate
Is
Factory.
there evidence of this?
Yes, there is.
Somewhere?
There are 4.
Is it on
no,
the internet?
it's not on the
Is it
internet.
on YouTube?
No, we're not doing this. Happer,
Is it on
Happer,
OnlyFans?
stop.
Gosh, he really doesn't want you to search for it, almost like you'd find it if you
Oh.
did.
Oh
Happer,
no.
stop.
Don't do that.
We're going to
There-
find out how good of a Googler I
Speaking
am.
of Gene, stop.
There
please.
are 4 DVDs. So I had a girlfriend back in the day,
Shout out girlfriend. back in the day.
and
This is in high school?
this is in high school.
Notre Dame College.
This
Prep.
is no. This was in grade school. This was the Willy Wonka was in grade school, but I had the girlfriend in high school.
Oh,
Okay, and the girlfriend
and she was in high school,
And
but
she-
you were in grade school.
Right, right.
No,
Got it.
no.
I've seen The Graduate.
No.
Congratulations.
She's in high school. I'm in high school. We're the same age. We are
That's no
in.
fun.
We actually met through musical theater. Right. We were both in the same play, and then I was the Troy Bolton of Notre Dame College Prep. I was doing musicals, but I was also very very much the
It's
captain of the hockey team. No big deal. Anyway, go ahead. And she's like, "You were Willy Wonka in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?" And I go, "Yes, I was." She's like, "Do you have any videos or DVDs of this?" I go, "Yes, I do." She's like, "Are we going to watch it?" I go, "Absolutely not."
Oh, come on.
And
she
then
wanted to go over and watch them with you.
My
It's
mom,
funny.
my mom took the DVD,
This gets worse.
burned it into 3 different copies,
Oh, I thought you were going to say burned it.
Yeah.
burned it into 3 different copies, and then gave it to her,
Hell
and
yeah.
then gave it to her friends.
That's what I'm talking about.
And they had a movie night,
Yes.
and then came back to me and gave me a review of how my performance was.
Okay, before we get out of here, I have just a couple follow-up questions.
Yeah.
What were the reviews like?
Yeah.
Night 1, I was very insecure and I was happy to do it, and then I started getting made fun of, so I didn't give max effort.
This is the
But
player.
then the 3rd night is when we recorded it. My dad turned into Hockey Dad, but in musical theater. He was like, "These last 2 nights have been crap." Okay.
You gotta rip
he
it.
goes, "You got to step it up. You got to smile. You got to
No,
look
Jim
like you're
Mora.
happy to be there. You got to nail your lines. You have to perform." And he acted Hockey Dad, but in musical
That's
theater.
what I'm talking about.
And so I stepped onto the stage and I gave a ripper on night 3. I was great.
but what were the reviews like?
On night 3, on night 1 and 2, the reviews were you looked like a 13-year-old kid who had to do Willy Wonka.
Uh-huh.
Night 3 was you were great. You're a natural. You're
13-year-old
awesome.
man.
You were Willy. You were Willy
Chest
Wonka.
hair.
All right.
Come with me.
Check the local
and
papers.
you'll be
Oh, baby.
in a world of pure imagination.
Mhm.
There's no knowing where we're going.
Who played Charlie
There's
Bucket?
no earthly Liam.
Who played Grandpa Joe?
Yeah, who were the
McCarthy.
swinging grandparents that shared the bed?
It was
Howard
Maeve. I think it was
Liam
Maeve. Liam was great. It was my friend Maeve, who, funny enough, became the best friend of my girlfriend 5 years later, and which is how my girlfriend found out that I was in Willy Wonka, because her best friend and I were in the same play together.
Okay.
That's how
Right.
that
I like
occurred.
this.
My very good friend Lael was, who I'm still friends with to this day, who went to Iowa. Or
Careful.
I think he
Yeah.
graduated. It's empty. He was a Guskus Galoop, and he was a short little 5'4" kid, and they stuffed pillows in his stomach.
Now,
And then
that's one thing that you can't.
Now he plays for Kirk
Yeah,
on the
You're
line.
like you're 30 or whatever, and you go back later. It's like, yeah, I played Augustus Gloop.
dude,
It's like, that's
they,
tough.
They stuffed his stomach with pillows, and then they made him like jump into a garbage can, and it was the funniest thing ever. But I did get makeup done
bastard.
for that over and over again, and they were like, "All right, we're gonna put purple eyeshadow on you," and I'm like, "No,
It could bring out your eyes.
no." I was like, "Yeah, not gonna do the purple eyeshadow."
Very quickly before we get out of here,
Yeah.
I know we've said that a couple times. M Morrow on the YouTube stream.
Okay, I did it. I did what M. Morrow said.
Okay, yes.
So, are you ready for the Reddit post?
Yes,
Here's what it
Close
says.
the loop on this.
My boyfriend is a huge NBA fan, and I want to surprise him with an NBA jersey of his favorite player. I could just ask him, but I want that to be the last option. He did tell me who his favorite player was a long time ago in conversation, but I have since forgotten. Here are some clues that could be helpful. My boyfriend is 21. My boyfriend is a fan of the Lakers. We live in Dallas, but my boyfriend was born in Florida, but was raised in Georgia. He sometimes attends Mavs games. I'm absolutely certain this player is still in the NBA. This one could be pretty dumb, but I vaguely remember that the player's name sounded like Hector Banana Bread. However, if you put that name into Google, I just get banana bread recipes, so
Sure.
the name is probably way off.
That's the jersey.
So who is it?
Hector Banana Bread.
Hector?
That's the jersey.
So I was looking at the wrong guy. It was actually Victor Wembanyama.
Oh, there it is.
Oh.
Not to
Hector Banana Bread. That's going to be my
Banana
name on the
Bread.
stream from now on.
Hector Banana Bread. And yeah.
I thought I did see this on TikTok very briefly, like
Yeah.
on a Instagram reel that was a TikTok, because I don't have TikTok.
Not yet.
No, I'm
Not
done.
after all this peer pressure.
I'm never gonna do it. Why would I do it?
Your co-host will
Hector
peer pressure
Banana
you into
Bread.
doing it.
That would be a great, like, the Spurs should dive into that and like make like a Hector Banana Bread like
They should sell
T-shirt. Yeah.
banana bread at the
Or like
concessions.
or like
Only
a,
$14.
Henceforth, he's known as Hector Banana Bread.
oh my god, banana bread at the concessions.
Mm.
Like trash cans.
And if you knew San Antonio,
Did you
you're
hear?
spot on.
Did you hear my idea?
No.
You know, so like
we
you
have
know,
to go, by the way.
to bless
there
the
is a
popcorn.
Connor Happer show.
To bless the popcorn buckets every time, like when they bring the trash cans, put the popcorn in, they should have a mini belt at the concession stand. And they fill up the mini trash can with the popcorn bucket, then they wrap the belt with it, and then there it is.
Josh will be there. I know that.
Hell yeah!
All right. Thanks, guys. Enjoy your afternoons.
Have a great show, boys.
That is the crossover powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. It's Wednesday. We'll start things off next.
It's the Connor Happer Show. Are we sure we want to do this?
Could you, make an announcement that we're ready?
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620, The Zone.
All right, welcome in, everybody. Happy Wednesday. It's the Connor Happer Show. You're on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Hodson with you. Hello. Are we excited? I woke up today and I drove down lovely Dodge Street, and I kind of felt like, I don't know, maybe I self-fulfilled this, but the sun was out. It was a very comfortable temperature, and I just felt like this feels like the first day of March Madness is about to happen.
Yes.
This feels like I'm going to watch the 10 minutes of Price is Right that I watch every year prior to 11 o'clock in the morning on a Thursday. And then there's going to be basketball on my television all day long. Unfortunately, that will not be the case today,
Right.
But it does indeed feel that way. The blinds will be open. That natural light will be coming into your house. You'll have 6 TVs all in the same place. Oh, what a beautiful, beautiful day I cannot wait until that day. We're less than 2 months away, Josh.
I did not have that exact same feeling, but I did.
What day did you feel like?
I felt like, feels like
There's about to be a midweek Creighton Omaha game.
Yeah, feels like oh man, feels like there's going to be like a spring training game on this afternoon, or
Wow.
The Masters or something.
Wow. All right, so we had similar ideas.
Yeah.
I went to March Madness. You went to random weird baseball games.
Cactus League.
Some Cactus League action. And the players are running poles in the outfield, and they hop on the bus. And they go back to their facilities when they're done playing in about the third inning of the game. All right, so welcome to the show, everybody. Happy Wednesday to you all. Today, we're debuting a new time slot for our dear friend Robin Washut. It is the off season of football. So Robin and the boys at Husker Online are taping their podcast in the normal regular spot where Robin joins. So we're going to try something. We're going to move them to the next segment. It's like 7 to 10 minutes. Robin will be on the show.
This is wild.
I know.
I don't know if it's going to work.
I know. And then we'll have a segment in between that, and then Mitch will join, and then it'll be the odd news, and then it'll be I Have an Opinion.
Show's over. Now the back half of the show, we got nothing.
I don't know what is going on with my voice today. I need to be on my game because this is a huge game tonight in Omaha.
Mm-hmm.
Huge
That's
game. Right. I know there's a huge game in Vermilion too. There's a huge game in Omaha, and I need to be on my game to, number one, tell people the correct rules of the Let It Fly shootout.
That's right.
And number two, appreciate the Upper Bowl. And number three, help the Jays get a big win tonight against Xavier.
It's Upper Bowl night.
It's Upper Bowl. I'm an Upper Bowl appreciator, as you could see on the YouTube if you're watching along with us there.
The U-Beers.
The U-Beers?
U-Beers.
U-Beers?
Upper Bowl.
Is that what they're calling them? Is that what they refer to themselves as? The U-Beers? We're Upper Bowlers.
Oopers?
The Oopers. So Robin and Mitch, that's our lineup, powered by the Roof Reason, John Higgins Weather Guard. We'd love to hear from you all, 402-951-1620 and the 42 Degrees of Source hotline. You can call or text that number, tweet at Happer Show, at Connor Happer on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed, email Connor, Josh O at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. And we say good morning to the YouTube streamers today. Hello, everybody. Bayamon writes in,
Hi, Bayamon.
not a Jersey guy, but one with Hector Banana Bread intrigues me.
Oh, there's got to be a bunch of people with Spurs jerseys that say banana bread on the back.
100%. So we get a text on that, by the way, from the text line.
Thank you. That reminds me, I got to open the texter.
So do we know how the Reddit gal finally figured out her boyfriend's favorite player? Did she ask him? There's no way someone actually got the real name from Victor Banana Bread, did they? No, the answer to that question is everyone immediately knew. I mean, I read that post for the first time, and I was like, oh, she's talking about Victor Wembanyama.
Oh.
Hector Banana Bread?
Hector Banana Bread.
There's only one player in the league that sounds remotely close to Victor Wembanyama or Hector Banana Bread, and it's Victor Wembanyama.
It makes sense after the fact. Like, oh yeah, absolutely. That sounds like.
And then you add in like, oh, okay, he's from Texas, and I don't know. He just seems to like the NBA in general. Yeah, it's his favorite player is Victor Wembanyama, aka Hector Banana Bread. So yes, the answer was yes. Immediately, the internet was there to help her. Elsewhere today, we will play the game that has become I Have an Opinion. Please send in your opinions on this show today. And if you do so and Josh selects your name at the end, or if he deems your question or your opinion to be good, then you could win. Tell them what they could win, Josh. Tell them what they could win.
We are going to get you dinner at the Woodcliff restaurant.
Woo! And we might have a couple of them.
Yeah.
So send a good opinion, and you will automatically be entered in. If you tweeted us, we'll find it. We'll find it. I have an opinion coming up at noon today, and there is $50 to Woodcliff restaurant on the line. So we'll have that coming up at noon. Like I said, we'll dive into Creighton and Xavier tonight here in Omaha. And it's a big game, and it's a really big game for Xavier. It's a big game for Creighton. It's a really big game for Xavier. So that always scares you a little bit when the other team's mildly desperate coming into town.
Yeah.
Michigan, they are not backing down from the fight with the NCAA regarding the Connor Stallions of it all. Also, in documents that were obtained by Yahoo Sports yesterday, a Nebraska mention.
Oh, yay.
Did Michigan cheat against Nebraska to win the game, a game that they had,
Clearly.
of course, no business winning in 2022 when, what was it, Alante Brown got hit in the undercarriage and Mark Whipple got ran over on the sideline.
That's right.
And Nebraska really didn't have a chance to get like as much as a first down all day long. That was all because they cheated.
Mm-hmm. How else would the number one team in the country win 45-7?
I think no. It was the year before that. It was 2022.
Oh,
I believe the score was 34-3.
Oh yeah, that's clearly cheating.
That game was miserable, and I never once thought that Nebraska had a chance in it. One of the rare ones is like Nebraska is absolutely definitively not winning today. It was a long season, Josh. It was a long year.
It was 3-7.
Anyway, 3-7.
That's what Google says.
I'm
I'm just reading the Google box score.
Stop.
Connor.
Oh, they were 3-7 at the time.
Yes.
I believe they ended up going 4-8 that year because they beat Iowa.
That's right,
folks. Remember Trey Palmer? People forget
he's down there somewhere.
So we'll get you the details on that one. Bill Connolly ranked the top 100 games of the season, and yes, Nebraska makes an appearance on there. Nebraska mentioned. We're on Rocco watch, and then we'll check in with the St. Louis VCU game last night. Wonder what's going on there.
Finally, a Billikens update.
They were showing highlights on the halftime of I watched all of San Diego State and San Jose State last night. And during halftime, they were like, hey, let's take you out to St. Louis, where we got St. Louis and VCU. And the guy, I think it was Rob Stone, he was like, why do you think we're showing you this highlight? That's because something happened. Fighting in the stands.
The fighting Rick Majerus's
were fighting.
Yeah.
They were indeed. And of course, we'll touch on the Omaha Mavericks tonight, who are putting together all of the makings of everyone's favorite small school in the aforementioned March Madness by a promotion that they are putting on for their next home game. Very, very exciting. We will get to all of that as we go on throughout the show today. Glad you're with us. We'll come back and have a chat with our dear friend, Robin Washut of HuskerOnline.com. Yeah, I know. Get used to it. It's happening.
I'm ready. I like this. There's stuff happening in the show right away.
Right here on the Connor Happer Show on Omaha's 1620 The Zone.
the biggest basketball coaching convention of work on your skills.
What?
You don't remember? I'm talking.
What is going on? Robin, are you okay?
Robin Washut,
Are your kids near you, or what just happened?
Husker Online.
I took a lot of preparation to make this thing a flawless interview, and clearly I still can't avoid it.
Robin Washut, Husker Online.
Maybe it was aliens. Maybe it was a phenomenon that we can't explain.
The Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Maybe it was aliens. Maybe it was a phenomenon that we can't explain. Maybe that's what's happened to Nebraska basketball over the last couple weeks.
The aliens from Space Jam took the talent of the Nebraska ball players.
Aliens. Or maybe it's something more practical. Robin Washut of Husker Online joins us now on the hotline. Hi, Robin!
Hello. I think you're 100% onto it. I think it's aliens because that's the only logical explanation for how quickly the season has kind of fallen off the track.
Could it possibly be as simple as that game at Iowa? It feels like it started there, and the losing streak would suggest that it started there. Not being able to finish that one off or not winning in overtime. And then the quality of teams have been generally pretty good that Nebraska's played as well. But it just looks like a completely different team for the last 6 games. Did it start there for you? Or is this something that has always been fundamentally baked into the possibility, of what could happen this year for Nebraska?
Well, Nebraska always had flaws. They were far from a perfect team, even when they were off to that 12-2 start. Because there were games where, they were able to just kind of play through their issues and defend themselves out of their offensive struggles. And as the quality of competition night in, night out started to increase, I think that's, like you said, played a big part in that. They're playing good teams, but I think with the level of competition, those warts, if you want to call them that, get exposed more and more and more. And, in this league, everything is scouted so well that if you have a weakness, every team you play is going to try to attack it as much as physically possible. And so that, I think I always go back to the kind of explanation that it just seems like Nebraska has a lot of relatively little issues that with every loss are compounding on top of each other more and more, to where now they're starting to create some bigger problems for them when it comes to frustration starting to impact play. Just the pessimism when they're in that late game situation, doubt starts to creep in a little bit. When you've lost 6 in a row, many of which games that you arguably should have won but found ways to lose, then you're starting to get into bigger things that you can't just fix with a new starting lineup or a schematic adjustment. So, I guess winning solves everything, and suddenly that doubt and, pessimism starts to go away if you have the reward of victory. But, when you're riding a losing streak like this, what you worry about is separate individual things that should be, fairly correctable. They start to lead to issues that are going to take a lot more work to get fixed. And I think that's kind of where Nebraska's at the breaking point right now, where they need to figure it out when it matters the most in a game to kind of push down these kind of growing problems that, like I said, just boil down to confidence and more intangible stuff.
What do you think? There hasn't been much time in between the last time they played. It was just Sunday, but you've had sort of the week here. Maybe you're looking introspectively. You're looking in the mirror a little bit. When Nebraska does that and they show up tomorrow to play a really, really good Big Ten title contending Illinois team, although all it being on Nebraska's home court, what do you think the outlook is for them as far as where this, not where the game sits in the rest of the season, but what the rest of the season looks like and what they have to accomplish? What are your goals at this point after, losing 6 games in a row?
The goals shouldn't change. This is a team that truly believed that they were in that upper tier or second tier of the Big Ten that could legitimately make a run in this conference. And if that's still the case, then yeah, you're playing a really good team, but you've beaten really good teams on your home floor. And, you've shown that you can do it. You went to Omaha and beat Creighton. You were up 15 at Iowa in the second half. And even though you lost that game, like, you were the better team for the majority of that game. So, like, that's what they got to fall back on. That's what your goals need to be, is just getting back to the confidence that you had earlier in the season when everything was, going well. It's hard to do that when you're losing, but that's, again, I think that's what it's going to come down to. They just need the bounces to go their way. They need to find ways when, it's a 50-50 ball with 3 minutes left in the game, that they're the ones getting on the floor and finishing off the possession with a defensive rebound, or making the clutch three-pointer that, those types of plays that their opponents seem to make at the biggest moments to turn potential Nebraska victories into losses. So that's, I think that's where it starts, where your goals need to be, is just get back to playing with the effort and confidence and intensity that got you to 12-2. Like I said, there's some things that I don't know if they'll be able to fix.
Right.
I don't think they're suddenly just going to become an elite 3-point shooting team, or, they're going to be able to, I don't know, be able to facilitate through their point guard at the rate that I think they would have hoped. Like, I think that's just kind of, they are what they are.
Agreed.
But they've also shown that they can be an elite defensive team. But for them to do that, that effort has to be there, and they have to defend with the confidence, where they're closing out with aggression, and they're contesting, and they're rotating, and doing all the things that made them so good in November, December. They got to find a way to get back to that, regardless of the level of competition you're facing.
100%. It does not work defensively the way Nebraska's trying to do it without the real teeth, showing as it was at the beginning of the year. But you mentioned something there, and Fred's, tinkered with the rotations and the lineups over the last couple games. What do you think Nebraska's best option is as far as their primary ball handler is concerned at the moment?
Hard to say, because I would say Bryce, just because he was their lead guard last year when they really flipped the switch and made that tournament run. And then I pair that with the struggles that, Raleigh and Aaron Eulis have had their moments, but there's just been too much inconsistency with those two, which is why Fred went with a different starting lineup last time out. So, but when you have Bryce be your lead guard, that limits what he can do as your number one scoring option. And this is a team that offensively, they need all the help they can get. And to suddenly say, all right, fifth leading scorer in the Big Ten, we're going to have you just facilitate and try to get other guys involved. That works when you have Brink Mass and Keisei Tominaga around you. But right now, there's just not enough firepower around Bryce Williams, in my opinion, to make him full-time on the ball, where he's the one quarterbacking the offense. So, I think ideally you are able to get more consistency out of Raleigh and Aaron. But right now you just don't know. So, that's the biggest question to me, is, that point guard role. I think the best point guard on the roster right now is Bryce Williams. But again, are you willing to sacrifice his scoring in order to get the rest of the offense going? That's a tough call. And inside, Braxton Mia didn't even play last game. So,
yeah.
I wonder if Berkay at the 5. I like Morgan off the bench better too. I think just the kind of the physicality he brings, that's a nice wrinkle to have off the bench. And so I would probably go with, if I'm creating a starting 5 right now, I'm gonna go Raleigh, Bryce, Juwan, Connor Season, and Berkay. Because I think that's your best offensive lineup. And if you can get more consistency and better just overall point guard play out of Raleigh, I think the rest of that picture looks a lot better. And then also, Berkay is as much of an X factor on this team as any other player. Because when he's good, Nebraska's good. But when he struggles, that just puts so much pressure on Juwan and Bryce, where it almost feels like they have to do too much. And Connor Season is in that conversation as well. But just because of the position Berkay plays, I think he is absolutely critical for Nebraska to turn this thing around. If they can get him going, they're going to have a chance.
Robin, football one before we let you go here. What's your feeling as far as Nebraska with Rocco Spindler, the transfer from Notre Dame at this point?
Well, it sounds promising. You never really know with this portal recruiting just because things can, I mean, you've seen it where guys commit and sign and then back out of their commitment like 3 weeks later. So you never know just because of how wild this new landscape is. But it does seem that Nebraska's got a lot of momentum behind them. I'm not 100% dialed into the ins and outs of that recruitment, but just reading
the
reports from Sean and Brian and Steve Wolfong and all the other guys on 3, like it does seem like Nebraska's got a really legitimate shot. And I know on our live chat yesterday, that was one of the questions somebody asked, and it seemed like the consensus was Nebraska's percentage of getting them is around 60-70%. So they're in a good spot. They got to finish the job, but that would address a pretty critical remaining need out of the portal with no question about it.
No doubt. Robin Washut of HuskerOnline.com. All right, Robin, we'll let you go. We appreciate you taking the time as always. Hopefully this time works for you because I think it's good. How do you feel about it right now?
It is. It's
okay.
A good time.
All right.
I'm actually sitting in the parking lot. As soon as I hang up with you, I'm going to go over and talk to Fred and the boys. So the timing couldn't have worked out much better.
Perfect. All right. We'll plan on this from now on. See you later.
Yep.
Robin Washut, HuskerOnline.com. Going to go over and talk to Fred and the boys. Dirty Fred and the boys.
Check if there's any aliens roaming about the building.
Yeah, you got to clean that place out.
Yeah. Give you some of MJ's secret stuff.
So, losing 6 in a row.
Not good.
Good analysis. I think you're right about that. But I mean, do people really think this is going to go like all the way in the tank for them? Like, do people think they're going to just not win a game the rest of the year? Because I don't think that.
Nebraska fans are very feast or famine. It's very football,
like
basketball. It's
whatever they've
best
done
team
last
in the world, or the worst.
Whatever they've done last, and I don't know that that's that different from any other fan base ever.
Probably.
But like, whatever they've done last, that's just you copy and paste that to what they're going to be for the rest of the entire season.
Well, they did that last time out. How come they couldn't have done it this week?
Yeah, they're going to have a really tough time against it. And therein lies the problem a little bit. Like there has been some variance in just what we get from Nebraska, right? I'm not talking about, the points and where they come from, but just what you can expect and how hard you can expect them to play and all that stuff and their organization on a game-to-game basis. But I would imagine they took this week and they probably looked in the mirror and they were like, all right, we got to figure out what the best version of ourselves is and we got to be it like right now. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them play well tomorrow against Illinois. What does that mean? I don't know. Like you could play well and you could play well and not win. I thought Nebraska played generally fine against Rutgers and they didn't win. Mm-hmm. I thought they played generally fine against Maryland and they didn't win. But it's hard to go too far down the road because you just can't trust them on defense right now. And we all watch basketball and we're like, oh, well, they can't score and they don't have this and this and this. And offensively, yeah, they don't have a point guard. And while that's absolutely a big problem, if I can't trust them to hold it down on the 3-point line and they're going to be, Illinois is going to be sitting out there chucking them all night. I just you can't trust them to win.
They can't do the thing that was winning them games.
Right. Exactly. It's in there. It exists. So I don't know. There's no doubt that they're a little emotional and they have to find some solid ground to stand on. Otherwise it's certainly spiraling at the moment. 12-8, 2-7. We'll talk about them more tomorrow. As they get ready for Illinois at Pinnacle Bank Arena tomorrow.
Illinois.
Weird team. They've lost 3 out of 5. But everyone looks at them and says, oh, that's a really good team. That's a title contender. They're going to go fast and they're going to shoot 3-pointers. All right. Like I said, more on that tomorrow. We'll come back 11 o'clock hour. Mitch Sherman will join us at the bottom of the hour. Don't forget to get your opinions in for I Have an Opinion coming up at noon. Coming back, we'll take a look at Michigan fighting the good fight or the bad fight. Either way, I love when we get details on stuff like this, and we got some details.
Deets.
Coming up on 1620 The Zone.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, welcome back. 11 o'clock here on the Connor Happer Show. You're on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. I just saw a picture come up, and all the social media websites now, they remind you what you were doing X amount of years ago.
Yeah. It's a pretty good idea most of the time.
All right, so yeah, but it kind of makes you sad, or at least if the thing is,
you can clean up the old stuff so people don't go, "Oh my gosh, look at this Josh Allen-like monster."
Wait, what do you mean?
Josh Allen had some takes before he was drafted.
Josh Allen just had some tweets.
Yeah,
what were the takes? I've seen some of the tweets; they didn't seem that bad.
The ones I saw were
really?
You would want to delete.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I don't know what you're talking about, but I saw some funny ones, like kind of in the Travis Kelce style.
Oh yeah, the Travis Kelce.
I'm up at
ones
2
were
o'clock
funny.
in the morning eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. What's up with you guys? You know, like that kind of deal.
No, those were not these.
Okay, all right. Well, I don't support the bad ones.
Okay, good.
Everything bad, I discount. Everything good, I am in for. But no, it came up 10 years ago. So the Royals were the Royals were coming off of going to the World Series.
People forget.
And they were still doing this thing called like the Royals Caravan, where they would send a bunch of like buses out and they would stop at various like Royals Radio Network affiliate towns and like
that's us
do an autograph signing and whatever. And so the one that I was in Lincoln at the time, the one that we got was Rex Hudler, Eric Kratz, Terrence Gore, and I think there was another guy. And so they came up and Rex, that we got done. We went ice skating at the rail yard or whatever. Terrence Gore really wanted. So I have this picture of Terrence Gore ice skating, which is kind of funny in a Royals jersey. But HUD had a really good relationship with Darren Erstad, who was the coach, who was the baseball coach at Nebraska at the time.
People forget.
Called him Ersty, you know. And so after we were all done and finished up, we were like, HUD was like, take me over to, let's go see Ersty, because Nebraska baseball had started practice by that time. So we went over to the Alex, I don't know if it was called the Alex Gordon training complex at the time, but Nebraska's indoor facility. And there's like this window right when you walk in the door, this lobby with a big window, and it looks out over the facility where Nebraska's practicing. And so we just barge in there, and HUD stands there in the glass window, and he starts doing his classic, raise the roof thing. And Darren Erstad was like all the way across on the other side of the building, and he caught this out of his eye, and he like dropped everything, stopped practice, ran over, came up the stairs, hugged, and like they can't, HUD went down, and he said some stuff. He was holding the baseball. Yeah, we just completely halted Nebraska baseball's practice that day, all because Rex Hudler wanted to see his guy Ersty. That's what I was doing 10 years ago today. Josh, what about you? Probably having bad takes about politics or something.
My takes were great. It was everyone else that was wrong.
Listening to bad takes about politics.
Yeah.
Something like that.
People like Josh Allen were calling me on the phone and giving me their takes.
What do you mean people like Josh Allen?
Well, they had the same opinion as Josh Allen. Let's put it that way.
I wish I knew what you were talking about. I guess I could have some. I have some ideas based on what you're
Josh
saying.
Allen didn't like people that looked different.
No, he did. No, Josh Allen did not do that. Josh Allen didn't say
Connor.
that.
I'm telling you, he did many times over.
Oh man, don't tell me that stuff, because then I think differently.
He was young
of him.
and stupid. He was a young, stupid teenager in Wyoming. Like he's different now.
He is. He's different. He has much longer hair.
That's right.
But he still keeps losing to the Chiefs. It's very sad. Anyway, yesterday, there was a Ross Dellinger story that dropped on Yahoo Sports.
Yahoo!
By the way, shout out to Ross Dellinger, because the only time I go to Yahoo Sports is to click on a Ross Dellinger story.
It hits the ear weird when you say a story from Yahoo.
Yeah, it's
Sports.
like I went to yahoo.com.
Like, oh, you read it on Yahoo? No, the story was broken on yahoo.com.
Oh, you mean you were playing fantasy football? It's like, no, I was reading a newsworthy article. Doc, Michigan fighting allegations made by NCAA in Connor Stallion's sign-stealing saga. As we've come to expect, Michigan not necessarily taking any of this laying down. They're like, hey, no, you're not going to punish us. But there's some interesting evidence in here. In its response to the association, the rules infraction, whatever association, the NCAA, basically, Michigan refutes many of the alleged rules violations and accuses the NCAA of, quote, grossly overreaching and, quote, wildly overcharging the program without credible evidence that other staff members knew of Connor Stallion's illegal in-person scouting system. In the 137-page document, a portion of which Yahoo Sports obtained, Michigan makes clear that it will not enter into a negotiated resolution with the NCAA over the alleged wrongdoing, vigorously defending its former head coach, its current head coach, and several staff members, and even Stalions, the low-level assistant who orchestrated one of the most elaborate sign-stealing systems in college football history on the way to winning a national championship in 2023. So, just to repeat that, they ain't taking no deal.
I only know one detail of this story, and it's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
The Nebraska part?
No, Connor texted me about cheating, and I was so mad that I deleted the text.
Yeah, Sharon Moore comes into focus a little bit in this. That's
why I deleted the text, because I was so mad. I wasn't destroying evidence. I was so mad at the idea that we would cheat.
The story was that on the day that the Connor Stalions sign stealing thing broke, on that same day, Sharon Moore, who was not the head coach at the time but currently is at Michigan, deleted all of his texts with Connor Stalions. And like Josh said, the alibi for it was he did it in a fit of rage because he couldn't believe that a person would do that at Michigan or to Michigan or whatever. And so his first act of anger was to delete all of the text messages with him. Now, Josh, let's play this out. Do you think that's a reasonable reaction to being angry? Delete text? People block people on Twitter and unfollow them and, take them off of their Instagram when they break up. Kids do the darndest things these days. What about deleting this person from your phone?
What's that weirdo thing Nick says? I cautiously subscribe.
Cautiously subscribe?
Just in a very broad sense, yes, that's a thing.
I don't think so.
Do I guess? I don't
think so.
It's not what I do, but I guess people do it.
An NCAA spokesman confirmed that the association received Michigan's response, but declined to provide additional details and refused to confirm the document that Yahoo Sports obtained. Michigan spokesperson declined comment when reached, citing the ongoing nature of the investigation. Also, a Big Ten official was reached for comment, but declined. Meaning people are declining comments. In its response, Michigan believes that the notice of allegations sent to the school in August makes numerous factually unsupported infractions, exaggerates aggravating factors, and ignores mitigating facts. This is, once again, the document that has been obtained is Michigan's response to the NCAA saying this is a witch hunt, basically. You guys are just trying to make an example out of us. The document details why many of the 11 allegations against the school, six of them were deemed as level 1, are without merit or credible evidence. The school contends, and that includes allegations against Jim Harbaugh, current head coach Sharon Moore, and Stalions, of course, as well. There was conversation in here about who the tipster was.
Oh,
yeah, there's that piece of it as well. And then we get to the part that Josh mentioned, the Sharon Moore deleted texts. Of the NCAA's 11 allegations against the school, 6 of them related to Stalions and his scheme. One of them stands as the most serious and impactful for the current state of the program. Sharon Moore, then an assistant, deleted 52 text messages with Stalions on the very day that Yahoo broke the story of the NCAA's investigation into the school. In its response, Michigan and Moore acknowledged the deleted text messages. Yes, I deleted those text messages. However, the school contends that the texts were innocuous and not material to the investigation, and that Moore fully cooperated with the investigation, even turning over his phone for imaging, a move that then revealed the previously deleted text messages. You can't actually delete stuff these days, guys. I don't know if you guys know that.
Just pro tip, if you find yourself in a situation where you think deleting something off of your phone will save you, it will not.
The coach told officials that he deleted messages in anger and frustration shortly after the bombshell news story broke, suggesting that he did not want one person, Stallions, to receive credit for all the work that coaches and players put into the championship run. Quote, so I deleted all the information, all Connor, on my personal phone. And it wasn't to hide anything. It was just that I was just extremely angry of, the type of person that would do that to this program and these kids. That's why I deleted the text messages. Totally normal, right, Josh?
What is it about people from Michigan and destroying evidence on a cell phone?
Many people destroying evidence, Josh, but these things are pretty much always found. There's ways.
Yeah.
I don't know how. They have just more technology than we do.
Triangulation and
it's
AI and
AI.
Yeah.
Some of the text messages between Moore and Stallions paint a fascinating picture behind the scenes of Michigan's sign-stealing effort. One that, according to the school, is perfectly within the rules and is fairly normal art among college football staffs. Remember, that was Michigan's thing at the time. They were like, everybody does this.
Everybody's doing it.
Everybody's doing exactly what we're doing right now. So here are some of the details of those text messages, and we'll let you decide if what Michigan was doing seems, quote, normal to you. In an August 2022 text from Stallions to Moore, Stallions describes needing to meet with the coaches to discuss a juicy report for you on CSU, as in Colorado State, which Michigan opened the season with that year and won 51-7. Got a juicy report for you.
What would you do if, like, hey, Connor, we got to get together after this show. I got to talk to you about a juicy report.
I would be very interested.
Sure.
I would be very interested.
Sure.
Hopefully what we were doing would be legal.
I don't think I want my boss to say juicy.
I don't know, man. That's a hook. That's for sure. I would go to that meeting. In October of 2022, Stallion sent Moore a single text about Michigan State's blitzing signals, rules, and tendencies. Quote, Michigan played Michigan State every year, and Michigan State never changed its signals. And in a November 2022 text, Stallion suggests to Moore that Michigan should change its signals ahead of the Ohio State game. And Moore responded that he'll, quote, think about it. And Stallions responded that Nebraska is screwed.
Whoa.
A reference to the fact that he could easily decipher the Huskers' signals ahead of the Wolverines game against them that very week.
That's why the team hasn't been good lately.
Michigan won that game 34-3, but Moore told university officials that Nebraska used wristbands, so there were no signals to steal. Do you
I'm
think
tapping my temple if you're listening on radio.
Do you think Nebraska's patchwork staff at that point knew that Michigan had their signs and thus went to wristbands as a response? It's possible. I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch that game, a game that I would never consider watching again for a second time.
Maybe. It's a very logical jump.
Because either way, I mean, Nebraska was definitely going to lose that game.
Mm-hmm. You got to try, though, right?
So, yeah, I mean, you can't go into it with knowing that the other team has your signs. That would be bad, Josh. Perhaps the most interesting text came in April 2023. Stallion sent a note to Sharon Moore that Central Michigan assistant coach Jake Costner planned to visit the facility to meet with Sharon Moore. Central Michigan opened the 2023 season with Michigan State, which Michigan regularly played. Ironically enough, Stallions is believed to attended that game. Remember the picture on the Central Michigan sideline that everyone was like, is that him?
Yeah, he was working for the Chippewas that day.
Central Michigan versus Michigan State while in disguise. In fact, CMU fired Costner last fall as the NCAA investigated the matter of Stallion's alleged appearance on the sideline of that game. So that story is basically confirmed. They were trying to get stuff on Michigan State and Stallions and this guy, Costner, Jake Costner with a K. Kevin is not guilty in this situation.
Phew. End up at the train station.
They were working together to trade and share information on Michigan State, from what it seems to me. And the trade featured Stallions dressing up like Mr. Potato Head on the sideline of the Central Michigan State game. There is no doubt about this, and I've heard Stallions do a lot of interviews afterwards and tell these stories. There is no doubt that this guy worked really hard and was super detail oriented and took his job very, very seriously. Unfortunately, when your job is to help cheat, that's probably bad.
Yeah,
that's probably bad. But that guy was definitely good at his job. That guy was definitely good at his job.
A lot of effort put into that.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
So the question that remains is, can they triangulate this? Can they coordinate this and say, oh yeah, this was definitely at the directive of Jim Harbaugh. That was definitely at the directive of the university, at the directive of Sharon Moore. Connect it back. Because one of the things that they've tried to say is, well, this guy acted, he acted on his own, and he was just volunteering us this great information that he had, with his hard work, dedication, and know-how, was able to gather. He was just offering this up to guys like Sharon Moore and guys like Jim Harbaugh, and they took it. But it wasn't at the directive of them. Like, that's one of the angles that they're trying to go with. But we always love when details from that story come out, or from stories like that come out. And we got some on Michigan, and related to this situation from last night. We take you live to January 28th, 2025.
That's yesterday.
Illinois coach Brett Bielema was doing some searching on Twitter.
Bert.
And he found this video of Jim Harbaugh when he was the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers saying, quote, "If you cheat to win, then you've already lost." Brett Bielema responded last night. Brett Bielema has become the agitator of Big Ten coaches at this point.
Yeah.
I would imagine he is mixing things up in that group chat on a daily basis. Bielema says, "Really? Why did you leave? Was looking forward to playing, but understand why you ran to the NFL. See you in the future and can't wait. Hashtag FamIlly. Hashtag ILL." Brett Bielema is cooking right now. I don't think I'm a fan of it, personally.
Because
I don't like...
is it the messenger?
It is definitely the messenger.
Okay.
It also seems like a kind of a cheap shot. I mean, I like Jim Harbaugh. Obviously something was amiss here, and he ran to the NFL. There's that's absolutely part of why he's in the NFL, in my opinion.
But
he's gone.
Opportunity opened up.
Yeah, but he's gone. It just seems like sort of a cheap shot at this point. It's like you're taking shots at the guy who's coaching the NFL, and you're not going to coach against anytime soon. He's not coming back to the Big Ten. He's not coming back to Michigan. Harbaugh isn't. Maybe when he gets run out of the San Diego job in a couple of years because
Los Angeles.
Damn it! I keep forgetting it's not 2006. LaDainian Tomlinson, that's their guy. They're running back.
Oh okay. Yeah. They're expecting big things from Phillip Rivers.
Oh wow, interesting. But it's a cheap shot by Bielema. I am not in support of Bielema being this guy who goes out and takes shots at other programs just because Illinois feels good about itself because it won 9 games or something like that this year. I don't love it, Josh. That's my take on Bielema. I want to take some cheap shots at Bielema.
I want to know if Bert does this if they win 6 games.
No.
Or 5
The answer
games.
is no.
Yeah, it's a bit of a heat check from Bielema, right?
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
He's good and fired up right now that he's just feeling good. He feels good about where the program's at the moment. Didn't he have a dust up with somebody not too long ago? It feels like a lot of this work is done on Twitter by him.
Yeah, I believe the security guard at a Sizzler told him, I believe you've had enough,
There
sir.
you go. Speaking of cheap shots,
That's
Josh.
right. That's
Jeez. Right. Wow. He was getting after somebody else not too long ago.
Yeah?
as well. Oh, maybe it was the whole Feinbaum like SEC.
Is Brett Bielema getting after it?
Oh yeah, Brett Bielema is definitely getting after it.
Poll question.
Yeah, go for it. Poll question: is Brett Bielema getting after it?
Such a difficult name to spell, but I'll do it.
He keeps there was all these videos that he grabbed like the week after they won their bowl game of some things that happened in the Nebraska game, like the interception in the end zone, or a couple guys who made a hit. And he's like, oh yeah, these guys are coming back. He's big on the
That's right.
Why are we not ranked higher?
Mhm.
In one of those things. Oh, is it because we're Illinois?
Right.
If
we were wearing Alabama uniforms, we'd be number one.
He loves being that guy, and he's definitely doing it right now. Text from the 402.
Hi, 402.
You cheat once, and that's your label for life. Can't argue with that.
I like that person has, now maybe it's a new listener to the station. This person has never texted us about anything
The
ever
cough button still doesn't work
before. Okay, good to know. But
Yeah.
this story, this moment, this person, again, maybe a new listener.
Once again, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Long way for me to say welcome.
Please. Aaron writes in.
Oh, that's Kip. Hi, Kip.
Do I think Michigan's coaches knew about Stallions? Absolutely yes. If I'm Michigan, do I give a flying bleep about what the NCAA says at this point? Absolutely not. I do think that is definitely a part of their like, hey, we're going to go after you guys because you guys don't have any teeth right now.
Mm-hmm.
Or arms or legs. You're basically just a stump. He had no arms. He had no legs. This is how he led a nation. He couldn't hear, see, or speak. This is how he led a nation. Dan writes in, poll question, do you like it when your boss uses the word juicy? Do we have that up already?
That is up at Happer Show.
Okay. Perfect.
Along with Big Nate, and is Brett Bielema getting after it?
Definitely. Okay. We'll keep an eye on what's going on in Michigan. Oh, yeah. Jack John writes in, he had a little dust up with Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin big on dust ups these days as well.
A lot of people were dunking on Lane Kiffin this bowl season.
Lane Kiffin was dunking on a lot of people this bowl season.
He was trying to.
Yeah. Chris writes in on the Equitable Bank inbox.
Hi, Chris.
Subject line, Nebraska is screwed. Stallions knew that after watching them play and seeing the severe lack of talent. No, it was from knowing what their signals were. That's why they lost. It wasn't because Nebraska had basically mailed it in on the season. They'd fired their coach several weeks ago.
You got to read the Yahoo story. It'll tell you.
Well, the Yahoo story knows.
Nebraska was screwed. Why did I say it like that? I don't know.
No, Nebraska was screwed. Nebraska is screwed. That was the text. All right. We will be back with Mitch Sherman. We're also on Rocco watch around here.
Rocco watch.
Yeah, I need a Rocco in my life.
Rocco's Modern Life.
This is now the most important thing in the world to me.
Oh.
We need Rocco. If they don't get Rocco, Nebraska's not winning the game next year. If they do get Rocco, college football playoff.
That's high stakes.
It is huge stakes. More on that with Mitch coming up on 1620 The Zone.
Who do you want to talk about first?
Mitch Sherman, The Athletic.
He can play. And we need people that can play.
And we'll never be royals. Let me live that fantasy. Oh.
Mitch Sherman, The Athletic. On the Connor Happer Show. On 1620, The Zone.
He can play.
All right, we're joined now on the phone by our good friend Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. Mitch, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
Good. Let's get this right out of the way. So let's set an over-under for Matt Rule's press conference length on Saturday. There will be much ground to cover. Many questions will be asked. And I would imagine that, he's not on that much of a time crunch. So with that being said, how long are we going for Saturday with Matt Rule?
Well, I think I think we should set an over under on the number of times that we get a, okay, guys, last question.
Yeah. Okay. That's good.
That'll be said several times by Keith Mann.
3 to 5 for sure.
Probably like a 2.5, 3. I'd take the over 3.5 on that.
Yep.
And then the press conference, I'd put the over under at like 31 minutes.
Whoa, I think that's low. I think we're going to go into the 40s for sure.
Ooh.
There's a lot of ground to cover, Mitch. When you don't talk to the head football coach for a month, and a lot has happened. I mean,
and you're not going to get him again for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you were asking how long it would go if it was just unchecked, it would be up in the range of probably 60 minutes. But
yeah.
I think it's going to get stopped. I think he's going to have something.
I got to go.
Rule's got to get to. They have a junior day that afternoon. So he doesn't have all day, Connor.
Yeah. But he said that before. Sometimes he's like, "Hey, I'll stand up here and answer." Mostly after Nebraska loses, he'll.
It usually happens when I think he's feeling guilty about whatever.
It's like, I'm not going to walk away from this. I'm going to face it. I'm going to take it. So
it's a tactic.
Okay. So on the press conference, where do you start? What is the most pressing question of Matt Rule and Nebraska football at this moment? Like outside of how have you been for the last month?
Yeah. I mean, there'll be some small talk probably.
Yes.
I think once you get past the, there might even be a token question about the recruiting and his recent travels. He's been all over. And late this week, or in the middle of this, not late in the week yet, but in the middle of this week, he's been at the Senior Bowl and the Shrine Bowl sites watching former Huskers get ready for the draft. I think the first question's about the special teams coordinator position, how they're going to coach that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do you think there will be an answer to that? I mean, I don't know if there will be a name, but I mean, the last thing we heard about it was, hey, this thing needs a complete overhaul. So here we go.
There'll be an answer.
Yeah.
By answer, do you mean like a resolution?
Right.
No.
Right.
Not necessarily, although, yeah, I don't know. I don't think we're going to get a name. I don't think we're going to get a name of a special teams coordinator on Saturday. I do not. I think it's going to go into February, which is obvious since Saturday is February. But yeah, I think he'll talk about it. I think he'll talk about what he's been doing, and he'll maybe drop a hint about the direction that he's headed, and then he can certainly talk more about just the need. He can go beyond what he said in New York and talk about the need to improve that, and that the comments in New York were made before Nebraska. I don't want to say parted ways, but before Nebraska changed its relationship with Ed Foley, before Ed Foley was moved out of the coordinator position.
Right.
So he can talk about that.
Yeah. So do we, not to, I don't know how far we are down the line on this thing, but, are we under the impression at this moment that Nebraska is looking to the NFL? There's only 2 teams that are in the NFL that are still alive. So maybe there's somebody in there, or maybe they're just taking their like I guess are we under the impression that it's somebody there? I mean, we already know Nebraska has an assistant coach who they're going to have next year who's working on the Chiefs staff at the moment. I guess is that the holdup at this point?
What if Nebraska had an assistant coach on both staffs that were coaching in the Super Bowl, a future assistant coach? I don't know. That could be it. That would be a potential explanation if they're waiting. There's one football game left to be played, and this delay is kind of running alongside that. Maybe there's something to that. That would explain things. I honestly don't know, but I think that what we'll get from Matt Rule is you'll be able to read between the lines.
Yeah.
I think you'll have a much better sense coming out of Saturday morning if Nebraska's waiting for the Super Bowl to get over, or if this has just been a situation where he's been very busy in January, and they have 10 coaches on the road plus the head coach. So in previous times, you would be in a situation where I think there's more urgency to bring in a position like this, because otherwise you're going to be down a coach on the road. Yeah, you could always upgrade a GA, but it's not as effective. Like, there's a reason why why coaches are in full-time positions, and they in part because they are more effective recruiters. But now they have well beyond 10 coaches in position who are capable in position to go out and recruit on the road, even without a special teams coordinator in place. And I don't think that even if they had the special teams coordinator in place, that coach would likely be among the 10 on the road. Maybe. We saw Ed Foley do a lot of work in the state of Nebraska. I don't think that's going to be the assignment of the new special teams coordinator. So they're fine on the road in January. And it just may be that he has put this on the back burner until we get to this weekend, and then they're back in the office, and he can prioritize it where he believes it needs to be prioritized.
Mitch, are you on Rocco watch this afternoon?
Yeah, I got him on tweet notifications. So we'll find out if that's the way that he wants to announce it. His visits should be over, and now it's about I saw some speculation or the possibility that he could make a trip this weekend to Michigan. Don't know if that's still in the works. He's been to Indiana, so I think we'll hear something. I think we'll hear something here pretty quick. Certainly this week, maybe today, maybe tomorrow.
What is the significance of the potential addition there? I mean, given that it's the expectation. I mean, he's played all of his snaps in his career at guard, and Nebraska. I don't know that they were necessarily actively looking for but a guy went into the portal, and we know they're still looking for tackles. Like, what is the significance of that addition should it happen?
I think it's important. I think it would allow flexibility. It helps build some depth. You've got a couple of guards with experience who are coming back, but somebody has to play the center position. So I think the most realistic spot, the most realistic player to be the center, someone with experience you'd feel comfortable about going into the 2025 season, is Justin Evans. So if he moves to center, then that's a guard that you have to find.
Yeah.
And if you can find that guard with 23 starts at Notre Dame versus someone with no starts at Nebraska, then that's a good spot to be in. So yeah, while it wasn't one of those positions that we identified in December, interior offensive line, as something that was a pressing need for Nebraska, I think maybe it should have been. We were just kind of hyper focused on tackle, because that's of magnified importance. Offensive tackle is just command attention, so we've been talking about that a lot. But guard is up there. Interior, I just say interior instead of guard. Interior is up there as something that where Nebraska also needs to get some help. So maybe it'll find a situation where Rocco fell in the Huskers' lap, and that'd be very beneficial going into next season.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's weird. I never really thought of it that way, but if you do add a guy like that with all that experience at that high of a level, I think what it does and what Nebraska's been looking for and has fallen short of over the last couple of years is that flexibility to, hopefully be able to put guys in the right position along a couple spots on the offensive line. I mean, that's something that they have fallen short on now. And it doesn't fix all your problems, and you still, need some things to work out for you at tackle, but there's some capable bodies there, and you've got Pritchett, but like, I don't know, that might solve a part of your problem on the offensive line, just as far as where guys are going to be and when.
Yeah, I think it definitely would. They're not in a position anywhere on the offensive line where you can just say, okay, we have enough. No need to look around. Thanks, but no thanks. Like if there's somebody there that Nebraska thinks can help on the offensive line, like they're looking and they're interested and they're going to go. It looks like they're going to go all in. I don't think that you would have seen this visit happen unless Nebraska was prepared and communicated how prepared it was to make a very competitive offer. And, we're talking about NIL here.
Definitely.
So you have something to offer as far as an opportunity. So he's not going anywhere after starting for the better part of 3 years at Notre Dame to be on the bench or, I'm sure he's open to competing, like he's a competitor, but you're coming in with the expectation to start, and that opportunity exists at Nebraska. So if you finish the portal season, at least the winter part of it, with Elijah Pritchett at tackle, and then now this addition at guard, I think you feel really good about what you did, because it's been so hard for Nebraska since the portal came into existence and became a key part of the way you build the roster. It's been very hard for Nebraska to find quality offensive linemen in the portal. So if you could get two, one inside, one outside in this December-January period, that's a big win.
All right, Mitch, we will let you go. Good to chat as always, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right. Take care. Thank you.
Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. And can't wait to see what comes out of that beautiful, beautiful press conference on Saturday. The Nebraska beat is thirsty.
They need them some Roulade, and they'll be serving it up.
It's possible that Nebraska has an assistant, will be an assistant on their staff next year, who is currently on the staff of each of the Super Bowl teams.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's right.
That could be fun. That
seems like a fun thing to have.
They already know one of them. Maybe they have another one. All right, we're back next with Josh's Odd News. Don't forget to get your opinions in for I Have an Opinion. We need the opinions. And you have a chance to win $50 to Woodcliff Restaurant as well. All you have to do to enter yourself into the equation is have an opinion and state it to us. We'll be back with the Odd News first, coming up on 1620 The Zone.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
Don't forget to get your opinions in for I Have an Opinion coming up in just a couple minutes. During the break, I was trying to find the actual revenue report for Nebraska for the last fiscal year because I was reading this story from Scott Docterman this morning about the Caitlin Clark effect and the impact the impact of money that Caitlin Clark had on Iowa and other universities during her final year at the University of Iowa. By the way, this is not that Caitlin Clark.
Okay.
That's why I can tell by your silence that you were nervous. This is not the Caitlin Clark thing.
We're going to get to the Caitlin Clark.
All 9 Iowa road games were sold out last year, and at 6 of the away sites, those programs combined for nearly $1.5 million more in ticket sales than in fiscal year 2023. Nebraska, of course, was one of the places where it was sold out, and Nebraska won. People forget that.
That's right. They didn't follow Big Ten protocol, though.
That was after the game, and there is no protocol, but thank you very much. So I was trying to look at the actual report, but I don't know. People just aggregate. They just summarize it and then they put it on the internet.
That's right.
I want to see the damn report. I want to see
the hard copies.
I want to see the hard copies.
Is there a smoking gun for sports reporting?
I don't know. Did you see the picture that I tweeted out today of Troy Dannon of the We Are Doing a Radio Show? Low key, one of my favorite pictures I've ever done. That was sent to this by a friend last night. Have you seen this picture? No, I haven't. It's Troy Dannon being the starter at a track event at Nebraska, holding a gun straight into the air. It's really funny. Anyway,
it's just so stone-faced about it.
All right, I have an opinion coming up in a minute, but first, Josh, the odd news. Josh,
there are some wild opinions coming in. I cannot wait to get to them.
Are they regarding the Caitlin Clark thing?
No.
All right.
We got to talk about the Taylor Swift thing, though.
Oh, boy.
I know. Taylor Swift may be the most famous person in the world.
Yeah.
However, Taylor Swift is also a 21-year-old electrical apprentice and amateur mixed martial artist from Gloucestershire.
Taylor Swift of Gloucestershire.
That's right. Taylor Swift now 3-1 in his amateur MMA career, and he tells The Sun, I might need to consider changing my name.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's just one of those deals where you can't be Taylor Swift anymore.
Yeah, you gotta...
no kidding, your name is Taylor Swift? So if you want to not have that conversation for the rest of your life, it's really easy. You just have to, unfortunately, change your name.
That's right. He says even at weigh-ins...
Like being Michael Bolton.
Exactly. That ass clown started winning Grammys. Even at weigh-ins, people start laughing. The worst part is when the announcer is reading out the names before a fight. People ask me if I'm serious. When I tell them my name, it gets a laugh. When I go through airport security,
it is funny.
It's
funny. If I saw a person and he was an MMA fighter and he came up to me and showed me his ID and his name was Taylor Swift, I would say, no way. You're messing with me right now, right? This is fake.
The reason he hasn't changed his name, he says, is because he thinks, maybe it will actually help me.
It definitely is helping in his popularity.
Yeah, hey, the name will have, a big part of the sport is media and how you sell yourself. If I become a pro, this might help. Now, I imagine at a certain point, Tay-Tay is going to run in and say, what are you doing with my name?
You think she's going to try and rename him?
Absolutely.
Oh, come on. She's a nice lady. She doesn't care.
She doesn't care.
No, she doesn't care.
Have you followed her career? She cares about
literally
everything.
She just wants the rights to her music. That's all.
And her name.
Yeah, but she can't help it if that guy's name is Taylor Swift.
She probably thinks
She
can
has
help it.
absolutely no legal right to be able to change his name.
I would agree with you.
She cannot do that.
She's pretty powerful.
In fact, if I wanted to name myself Taylor Swift right now and gain notoriety off of, now this would be used as evidence in court. Yeah, I just wanted to name myself Taylor Swift because I like the name. Then I would do that, and I would probably gain popularity because of it. But that's not admissible in court.
Many, we did the story about, was it Michael Keaton?
Michael Keaton.
Whose name is Michael Douglas.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
They said, I'm sorry, sir, you cannot be an actor with that name. That name is taken.
It's already there.
Mm-hmm. Mike from YouTube Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Asked the basketball player David Duke how that strategy has worked out.
Yeah. That was not a good name for him.
Mm-hmm. So an Alabama family was offered free donuts for a year after they gave birth to a baby in a Krispy Kreme parking lot during a rare snowstorm.
Some companies still know how business is done.
Shania Bennett said she and the father of her children, Keon Mitchell, headed to that really weird wording on that, headed to the hospital with their 5-year-old son in tow, and she started feeling contractions amid heavy snowstorm. Bennett said she realized about a mile from the hospital she wasn't going to make it, so they pulled over to the Krispy Kreme parking lot and had the baby right there. The store was closed due to the weather, and the baby, Dallas, was born as emergency responders arrived. No harm, no foul. Everybody's healthy and happy. And Krispy Kreme said, hey, here's some donuts for a year. Thanks for doing business with us.
When you got to go,
That's
Josh.
right.
And that includes having a baby.
Yeah, that's nice. Free donuts for a year.
Will this lead to a whole bunch of people having a baby in the parking lot of Best Buy so they could get, free TVs
I
out
just
of it?
pulled over to the Bentley dealership and gave birth right then and there.
It was so weird. It was just random.
I was just happened to be right there.
Yep.
Was on my way to the women's hospital and I pulled over to the Bentley.
Yeah, there's a Porsche dealership on the way.
Yeah.
It's funny the things you see after you start talking about them. I never knew that Omaha had a Porsche dealership, and there it is. It's like very near where I live.
I never needed to know that was there.
Yeah, right.
And finally, on the odd news today,
inappropriate text message that I've received.
Oh my! Did I receive it as well?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Not
I'm looking forward to reading
truthful.
that. Okay. We have another
slanderous
excuse for the excuse file.
All right.
Guy gets pulled over for speeding. Was also did a little bit of drinking on Grandpa's old cough medicine there.
Don't do that.
Police wanted to know, hey, sir, why were you going 130 miles an hour in your car while you were also drinking?
What's he got?
I got to run home and hang out with my cat.
My cat really misses me. How'd that hold up for him?
Not great. Not great.
Big ticket? Jail? That's probably like aggravated DUI, right?
Yes, big ticket, $500 bond. He was released, got to go back home.
Oh.
Scheduled to appear in court on February the 6th. Many people quick to point out your cat does not give a bleep about you.
Is that 100% true? Like all of the time, your cat never cares about you?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. Like,
their
demeanor.
Has there ever been any cats who have been like happy to see you? Because like you rushed home, it's been a long day. They've been alone.
Hey,
hey,
it's that guy who feeds me.
And you know how cats show their affection by just like rubbing up against you.
Mm-hmm.
Which that is sort of a heartwarming feeling.
Mm-hmm.
But do cats just not do that unequivocally?
I mean, I'm sure like domesticated cats. Yeah, they're probably like, yeah, this is great. I got the life. This
Pampered
guy.
Cats.
Yeah. Soft ass cats.
Soft cats. Well, I hope that cat appreciated it that night. Because that guy got home a little bit later.
The SWAT cats hated people.
But I loved the SWAT cats.
That's right.
Interesting. But the SWAT cats saved us.
Yeah.
Many times.
Many.
From many evils across that town that they lived in. Josh, thanks.
Thank you, Connor.
That is the odd news Coming back, it is time for I Have an Opinion. We have many opinions, some of which are good, some of which are bad.
Ooh.
Coming in as we speak, and you have a chance to win $50 to Woodcliff Restaurant just by having an opinion. Imagine that. What a country we live in, Josh. You don't have to do nothing.
Nothing.
Except for have an opinion, which
got
you already
thoughts?
have.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
type it. Back after this on 1620 The Zone.
This is the I Have an Opinion song. Haven't done an intro yet. Need to get on that.
Yeah. It's time for I Have an Opinion. Share your opinions with us. If you would like to remain anonymous in your opinion giving, we are allowing you anonymity as well.
Wow, we are.
Just say,
Anon, please.
yeah, but start with it, because sometimes I'll read something and I won't know what it says until after I read it. So put at the beginning, please make this anonymous.
We can do that.
Yeah, we could be like Omaha's message board.
Really
kind
got to
of
tell
in
us
a
on the
way.
front end.
All right.
Du moi for Omaha.
Send in your opinions, of which there are many coming in right now on all various ways to get in touch with the show. The text line seems to be really one of the places that takes off on this.
Yeah.
So we thank them. But is there anything? I know we got some on Twitter as well. Josh, you usually start us off. What do we got?
I'm going to go to Jesse. Kick us off.
Jesse.
I have an opinion. Shower beers are not good.
Josh, what's your opinion on that? What's
So
your opinion about that opinion?
A tad overrated are shower beers. It has to be the exact perfect set of circumstances. A very hot day, a ice cold beer, and boy, I got to be hurting.
I would like to agree with Jesse on this opinion.
Wow.
I never, like, even in college when I'm like disgusting, you know, like I'm everyone's a disgusting person in college. They're like,
That's right.
shower beers. Everybody's doing shower beers right now. And like, I would feel like I would look like I need a shower beer, you know, on Sunday morning or whatever, get the party started Saturday morning for a tailgate after, you know, you're you're doing your thing on Friday night. Never has a beer tasted better in the shower than it has outside the shower, in my experience. The beer is always better when you're not in the shower. The being in the shower makes it worse. And why would I affect the integrity of the beer by putting it in an absurd place like a shower? What is the draw to this, Josh? What is the draw?
Well,
there is no. I don't
cools
get
off,
it.
The idea would be obviously it cools off your core.
Take a cold shower, idiot.
Yeah. Now, Jesse sent that to us at 10:30 this morning, and I saw it, and I said, "Ooh, this is going to get the people going."
Yeah,
it's
by people you mean me.
But the YouTube comment section agrees wholeheartedly with Jesse.
Thank you. Those people on the YouTube have good opinions.
Sal adds the "she's getting ready still" beer is a good one.
Yeah, I like that one. I like that's a good beer. That's a good beer.
Yeah.
Dudes naming beers.
Dude.
Yeah. Hey, Jesse, I'm with you, man. Okay. Like, I just I've never gotten the draw to that.
Okay.
Like, I think somewhere along the way, some dudes in college thought like it was cool. Like, this is an absurd place to drink a beer naked in a hot shower. And it is. Admittedly, it is.
Yeah.
But I just don't see I don't see the novelty. Well, I obviously see the novelty, but I don't see what makes it any better than having a beer outside of the shower.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't.
Right.
It doesn't enhance my beer drinking experience, which I always thought drinking beer was about drinking beer.
It used to be.
Yeah. Times have changed, though.
Seems to be about other things now.
All right.
Text from the 308.
From the 308. What's up, 308? That's out of Western Nebraska.
I have an opinion. Runza should do Temperature Tuesday year-round. Even if it's July and there's a heat wave where it's 96 degrees at 6 a.m., it's a good deal.
It's a good deal.
Yeah.
It is.
Again, I don't know what kind of good we're using here.
Like, the price of a Runza inside of the Runza combo meal is more than, let's just say, more than $2. If it ever got 200 degrees outside, we would all be dead.
I would not want to go outside and get a Runza.
We'd be boiling alive,
That's
and it would be very problematic. So technically, you're right. Maybe that's why you have found that Runza doesn't do this all year round, because they can't be selling Runzas for 50 cents every day or every Tuesday of all the year long. They only do it for like 7 weeks at a time, right?
So, okay, that's what I wanted to talk about here. I'm going to say something and you're going to go, gee, Josh, I don't know.
Okay.
But I'm still going to ask it.
All right. How long do they do it? What is the Temperature Tuesday time frame?
This week was the last Temperature Tuesday. This promotion used to be January and February, right?
No, I believe you're right.
Okay.
I believe you're right.
Okay.
I believe you're right. Or parts or half of February or something like that. It definitely used to go into February.
Right. Okay.
It
I
came
felt
in
like
fast
I was
this year.
taking crazy pills for a minute.
I believe that's correct. It came and went fast this year. So all we got was the 4 January Tuesdays and ball game.
Came and went like a comet streaking across the sky.
You can't be giving away 0-cent Runzas.
I know. People want this now.
By the way, this is nothing against Runza because I wholeheartedly support them in their endeavors, but I went to a Runza on Sunday and
Lucky Duck.
I never like, I always get a burger or a Runza at Runza.
Okay.
Or a salad. Like, if I got a salad.
Their salads are sneaky good.
They're pretty good too. But for some reason, I decided that it was the time to get chicken strips. I don't know why. I just felt like a chicken strip that day.
Okay.
Some days you feel like a chicken strip.
That's right.
So what's the key tenet to the chicken strip?
The ranch.
100%. Guess what they forgot?
The ranch. They got great ranch at Runza, according to my wife and son.
I know. And that's why I got it. And yet I drove away ranchless.
Oh, man.
So I ate my dry ass chicken strips while my child was crying in the backseat driving home from Lincoln on
that
Sunday.
Sounds awful.
Yep. I had a bad time. And they put, is this a common thing? We'll get back to the opinions. Is it common to put whipped cream on a shake? Is that an all the time thing?
It is now.
I wish it wasn't. What
Great
happened
take.
to our society?
It did
I have
not
an
used to be.
opinion. Why is there whipped cream on my shake? It doesn't need to be there.
It doesn't make it fancy.
And it
quite
warms
frankly,
it up.
yeah, it quite frankly ruins the shake
100%.
because you're putting it eventually melts and mixes in with the ice cream. I don't want this.
It warms the whole thing up, and then I'm drinking a lukewarm ice cream whipped cream mash, and it's bad. I'm so sorry.
I thank you for your bravery on saying
I
this.
know, but I'm an anti-whipped cream guy anyway, so
it is.
It's not for everybody.
This isn't Starbucks. I don't need a whipped cream on my drink. I don't need a dome lid.
No, I don't.
Just want the ice cream.
Baymon says there's the rare good food take from Connor.
Oh, look at you. Chris with the text.
Chris with the text. Chris with them texts.
I have an opinion. People that drive fancy ass cars like Mercedes, BMW, Cadillac, and others need to be shown where the turn signals are and how to use them. Mine on my POS work just fine, thank you.
So Chris's opinion is that people with nice cars don't know how to use blinkers. Do you think there's a correlation?
Oh,
have you seen this exemplified in society?
Not a hard and fast rule, but some of those cars that go real fast and people like to zoom up and down Dodge.
No, I just think that's now we're talking about two different things there, Josh.
I know.
So what we're talking about is people who like to drive cars fast don't like to use the blinkers. That I believe to be true. But not all fast cars are nice cars. Not all cars that drive fast are nice cars.
This is true.
People drive crappy cars right by me all day long. They're so loud. Why does the car need to be so loud? Any car that's loud should be canceled, by the way.
Great take.
Cars should all be quiet.
This is great take.
So I don't know if there's
I live on a corner lot. All I hear is cars driving by all day.
I don't know if there's a correlation between nice cars and blinker and people who don't like to use their blinkers. I haven't seen that, but thank you for sharing your opinion with us, Chris. It's appreciated.
Brian shares an opinion. I believe Brian is trying to force an opinion out of you with his opinion.
Oh, I'm full of them today.
I have an opinion. Since there will apparently not be a Mount Happer to predict the melting date, Connor and Josh need to find a date to predict the all of the ice is gone.
No, a lake. We need to find a lake.
Oh, okay. That was not a typo. I assumed that was a typo.
So I drove by on the drive into Lincoln on 180, going through there, and you go over the bridge and you see the stadium and everything. Right before that, there's a lake. I don't know what lake it is, but there's always in the winter. There's always people out there skating around or just being out there, messing, doing some mess arounds. And it was pretty nice. The sun was pretty intense on Sunday. And I was like, are we sure? Are we sure? And then, and now we got a day like today where it's going to be 54. The sun's been out for 3 straight days now.
It was 60 yesterday. Every day I drive into work.
Are we sure about this? Do you really want to go out there?
I drive to work every day staring into the sun. I have no idea what's in front of me or where the curb is.
You gotta get sunglasses, but yes.
I can't. I have glasses.
You can, Josh. They make those. It's fine. You just have to pay a little Skrilla. That's all.
Skrilla? What year is it?
I like saying Skrilla in 2025. I get concerned for the people who like to just hang out on frozen lakes when the sun comes out even a little bit. I'm like, that ice is going to melt.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking about it like ice that comes out of my refrigerator or my ice maker, not like, oh, there's 10 feet of reinforced solid concrete ice down there. Don't worry. You're not going to fall through it. But I get worried about them. So maybe Brian is right. Let's go to a local lake. Let's go to what do you think? What's your lake of choice? What's your Omaha lake of choice? What's your favorite Omaha lake?
Standing Bear.
Standing Bear. We got Cunningham.
Sure.
We got Zorinsky.
Candlewood.
Candlewood? What do you mean? What's that?
120th and Dodge-ish.
There's a lake out there?
I mean, it ain't a big one.
So it's not a lake. It's just it's not a lake.
It's a water feature. I believe is what they call it.
120th and Dodge. I don't know
that neighborhood behind the Costco.
The neighborhood behind. They have a lake back there.
I believe it's probably a pond or a water feature. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that is.
I don't think it's a.
That's not what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
All right, we'll pick one of those and we'll go predict the date that all the ice melts. But like maybe it melts all this week and then we have to rebuild the ice. Don't worry, we will. And honestly, we're still gonna have Mount Happer.
Something's coming at some point.
We will. Don't worry.
Text from the 402. People were skating at Cunningham Lake yesterday. I thought that was nuts.
Yeah, I know. I just get worried about those guys. Mm-hmm. They're crazy though.
Text from the 402.
Yeah.
I have an opinion. Those that want Hoiberg fired, add them to the list of people that need their right to vote rescinded.
What do you mean add them to the list of people? Wow. I don't need anybody to have their right to vote rescinded. Okay. But
feels a bit much.
We don't need it. We don't need to fire Fred. We don't need to fire Fred. We're not firing Fred. We're not doing that. We talked about this for 20 minutes yesterday. We're not doing it.
Text from the 402. That neighborhood Josh is trying to think of is literally Lake Candlewood. All right. Point for me, I guess.
I have an opinion. Matt says Candlewood is a lake. Black Cat writes in Candlewood Lake. The Candlewood Reservoir.
Look.
Josh, I mean, you might be right. I have no idea what this is, though. I didn't know that there was a lake back there at all.
Yeah.
I didn't know that there was any body of water whatsoever.
Learn more about your town.
Okay.
Where'd it go? Aaron has an opinion.
Aaron.
I have an opinion. Shower beers suck, but wine in a hot tub or a mixed drink is undefeated.
Wine in a hot tub?
What are you, that Will Ferrell character
in this
from SNL?
Hot tub.
Yes. My lover.
I can't say that I've wined in a tub before. Can't say that I've done it. Last time I was in a hot tub was July. It was in the mountains. It was a hot tub in the mountains.
Oh, okay.
But it was like it was chilly. But the drink of choice was beer. So I can't speak to mixed drinks or wine in a hot tub.
Okay.
I generally don't love the hot tub experience. I always thought as a kid, as a high school kid or whatever, I was like, damn, when I get enough money one day, I am absolutely getting a hot tub for my house. When I am in my dad's shoes, I'm getting a hot tub. I do not feel that pull anymore. I don't want a hot tub.
That dream died within me a long time ago.
I don't want that anymore.
We've got an opinion from the 402.
Hey, 402.
I have an opinion.
Where's Lake Candlewood?
Pasta dishes are over. Let me backtrack this. Pasta dishes are somewhat overrated, says this texter.
Okay, texter couched it a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to need you to be stronger with that. If you really think pasta sucks, then just tell me that it does. You're wrong. You're wrong.
Right.
I know that there are certain listeners to this show who'll be like, hell yeah, that's my guy right there. But that's stupid. Pasta is awesome.
Pasta, good.
Like, I can't think of a single pasta dish that I dislike. Show me a bad pasta.
I don't love Alfredo, but like I get it. I get why people enjoy it.
I love it. All the sauces, all the things that you could throw in there, all the different kinds of noodles.
Right.
Sometimes
all the shapes.
Sometimes I look at those lasagna noodles and I'm like, I want to boil those up and just eat them. I love noodles. I love pasta. So bad take by that person. Sorry.
Greg in Myrtle Beach.
Greg in Myrtle Beach.
I have a correct opinion. That middle school rule couldn't close a door in the offensive tackle portal with
Hey.
a case of WD-40.
Well, guess what? They have to recruit against oil. That one guy who ended up at Kentucky, the Shiaz guy.
Mm-hmm.
And they got Pritchett. Okay. So WD-40 that.
Already closed one.
And they're not actively recruiting a tackle right now in the portal. They're recruiting a guard.
I just love
When all else fails, go get a guard.
I love the picture Greg paints with words. Because I picture Rule on a short little step ladder, like rear.
Yeah, it is funny.
Kip emails.
They've had some problem. It's the tackle market is difficult.
Yes, very difficult.
Very difficult.
Very difficult. Kip, where'd Kip's opinion go? There has never been a worse actor to land a bigger role than Mark Hamill ever. Now, Mark Hamill played Luke Skywalker, Connor.
Was he bad?
Well, Mark Hamill hasn't had a lot of success outside.
Well,
of Luke
that's because he's
Skywalker.
typecast, right? He's Luke Skywalker.
Now he does a lot of good voice work.
Okay,
like for animated things.
So do we think do we think this is a result of him being a bad actor, or unfortunately being Luke Skywalker everywhere he goes?
See,
that's up to you, Josh. I couldn't tell. I don't know the body of work.
I can't separate the work.
Mm.
I mean, he
Did you think while watching the movie for the first time, this guy who's playing Luke Skywalker sucks?
So in the first Star Wars, which is the fourth Star Wars, as we all know, that kid kind of sucks.
Interesting.
I was going to go get some power converters.
Interesting.
Just a whiny little,
B word?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately. I'm sorry. Everyone.
Hockey Dad chimes in on Lake Candlewood.
Hi, Hockey Dad.
Lake Candlewood is across the street reet from me. See it every day. I think there was a typo in there, but that's okay. I mean, I literally drive by 120th and Dodge every single day.
It's back there.
That is my area of town. I have no idea what people are talking about. I'm sure if they brought me to it and they're like, look, this is what we're talking about, I'd be like, this?
Oh, yeah, this thing.
Okay.
Nick on Twitter.
Nick.
I have an opinion. Skrilla should be used more.
I agree. It sounded cool when I said it. I'm going to stick with it.
Oh, there's a photo of Gary and me in a hot tub together.
That's useful. Retweet.
Retweet, yes.
Other Nick on Twitter.
Hi, Nick.
Poll question of the day. What happens first? Husker football makes it to the playoff, or Husker Hoops wins their first ever NCAA tournament game? This has been a question that we get maybe once a week around this time of year.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Neither of those things have ever happened, and they don't seem all that close right now. So I would generally say tournament win, but who knows?
Yeah, that's the easier path, right?
I guess so.
I mean,
what happens first? Nebraska wins a tournament game, Nebraska wins a college football playoff game, or UNO makes the tournament.
Makes the tournament?
Makes the tournament.
Okay. Omaha makes the tournament.
Omaha makes the tournament. Creighton goes to the Final Four. Add them in there.
Omaha makes the tournament.
Okay. All right. More texts.
Oh, more texts.
Don't we have more?
Yeah. If you see something I haven't read, please. I mean, they're coming in fast and furious.
Pedro.
Hi, Pedro.
Hi, guys. I have an opinion. In most movies, the villain is more important than the hero.
Love that take.
Is Bane what made Batman, whatever that was called, Dark Knight Rises, better? Is the Joker what made Batman better? I would agree. I would
Yes.
say in both cases, yes.
Darth Vader, Hannibal Lecter, these
Great villains
the
make
great.
great movies.
Mm-hmm. Why do a lot of the Marvel movies suck? Because
there really isn't. Well, Thanos was awesome.
Yes.
And people got to the point where they were like, I actually agree with what Thanos is saying.
You know, Thanos had a point.
He cared. People always say that. Thanos had a point. Are you a Thanos had a point guy? Poll question, by the way.
Yeah. I'll
really?
Yeah.
Really? Thanos had a point in murdering half the Earth.
Now, no.
But
Thanos
you knew
correctly diagnosed the problem.
Yeah, but you knew what the rules were, Josh. You knew what his solution was, and it was always going to be that.
The
There was no other
population
way.
was too big for the amount of resources.
Yes.
Yes, that is true.
That's what you're agreeing with?
That's where I draw the line.
Okay. Not in the murder.
No.
Okay.
Now, if Thanos wanted to snap all the Beach Boys songs out of existence or half the podcasts out of existence,
Oh, yeah. Those were polls.
then by all means.
Half the Beach Boys song? Yeah.
It wasn't the Beach Boys.
It was somebody.
Yeah. Some band
Half
like
the podcast
that.
would be fine.
Yeah.
You could do about 85% of those, actually.
Gone.
Yeah. Be great. Let's see. Have you read this one from Aaron yet?
Aaron had a response to his
Go for it.
Hot tub poll opinion. I have an opinion. Part of this is also built on. I'm just reading this. I haven't read this yet, so stop me if
That's
I'm
what
about
I
to say
was
something
doing.
terrible.
That's what I was doing, and I asked if you had read it yet.
I have an opinion. Part of this is also built on my brother's crappy ex. If the best time of your life references back to high school, you are a loser of a human being, especially when you have 3 kids. Imagine the awkward phase of high school being the cream of your crop. Pathetic.
What is the
wow? Yeah.
If someone were to ask you right now, Josh, like what was the best time of your life? I don't feel like I have enough life experience to be able to rule on that yet.
So,
are we talking about specific instances? Are we talking about 5-year stretches? Are we talking about 3-year stretches? Are we talking about like a week? You know, those might all be different answers. I always tell people that I had the time of my life doing a basketball game at DePaul last week. I had an excellent time. It was the time of my life, but I don't think it was the best time of my life. It was a great time, though.
I love my son. It is very rewarding, very fulfilling work.
You want to go back to
however,
Thanos snap him.
It is, however, work. My early 30s, when it was just my wife and me, and we're like, "Hey, what do you want to do tonight? It's Tuesday. I don't know. You want to go out to eat? Let's go out to eat and just
Going
go
out to eat
and
was
just
great.
go.
Yeah,
we don't have to pack anything up. We don't have to pay for a third meal.
So that's your answer. Just when you were married, pre-kid.
When my wife,
that's a great. Hey, that's a good time. That's a good time. You're married.
My wife is still my best friend, but when it was all about, I'm coming home to my best friend every day. We can do whatever the hell we want. Yes. We have a house. We're not in a crappy apartment. We're not in our 20s.
But you also don't feel like you have to be around each other all the time because you live together. That is a great time.
You're old enough to okay, I don't have to be obsessed over this person anymore. Like, we can just live together and it's cool.
I'm having a great time right now. I think if you were to ask me at any point in my life, I'd be like, yeah, this is one of the best times of my life. I love this. My daughter is 6 months old. She is incredible. That's what she does. She just kind of grunts around all day long. I love it.
The slate.
I love it. She does. She really grunts the slate.
Stibbs on YouTube.
Stibbs.
The best time of my life is listening to all my friends on 1620 The Zone every day.
That is a time of most people's life.
He also offers an opinion. I have an opinion. Garth Brooks ruined country music forever.
Do we think Garth Brooks? I need more. Did Garth Brooks start? Did Garth Brooks start the Florida Georgia Line era, or like what? Because that was what ruined country music.
Show your work. Show your work.
I would say Florida Georgia Line ruined country music. That would be but maybe what Stibbs is saying is Garth Brooks had the impetus to the Florida Georgia Line era. Like, Florida Georgia Line only existed because Garth Brooks existed. Or maybe he's saying too many people like Garth Brooks. Like, I kind of like Garth Brooks.
I kind of like Garth Brooks as well. Now, if he had been able to really get into that Chris Gaines character, I think it really might have happened for him.
Or if the devil was able to write him that song that one time.
This is what he shows for work. Garth to Toby Keith to Kenny Chesney to Florida Georgia Line. So
you know what's
he's
funny?
illustrating a progression there.
You know what's funny? I'm with you, Stibbs. Like I'm generally with you, but I like each of those four individually. Like I have liked some of each of those people's songs.
I really only like Garth,
but I don't like what they turned music into. They were They were bad for country music, but I enjoyed what was happening while it was happening. It was like a drug in a way. You know? It's like I really, really, really like these cigarettes, but I think they're making me bad.
Okay. I was wondering what we were doing there, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
Huh.
Asian Joe writes in, breaking news, Connor likes some of Florida Georgia Line. I do. I like some Florida Georgia Line songs.
Wow.
What's wrong with that?
Stibbs also. Yeah, cigarettes rule.
All right. Did we get all the opinions in? Josh, do you think we have some winners?
Yes, definitely.
All right, good.
Is Stibbs eligible? No.
Stibbs is eligible.
I mean, I believe legally
we're not gonna give it to him, but Stibbs is eligible.
Yeah.
Sorry, Stibbs. That's what you get for having to borrow my dongle every time you come here. You could borrow it next time too.
What an odd question in our inbox.
Texter writes in,
yes.
I don't know, but summers in elementary school was pretty badass. Yeah, those were pretty dope.
Yeah.
But I didn't know anything. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but maybe that's the beauty of it. Maybe that was the time of my life. Like when I was 14 and I was just all I wanted. I was basically a professional baseball player when I was 14. All I did was go play baseball. That's all I thought about. Baseball. I didn't have to think about anything else. In fact, I thought about baseball more than professional baseball players think about baseball. I didn't have to do media or podcasts or sign autographs. I just wanted to play baseball. When I was done playing baseball, I just wanted to play more baseball. That's all I thought about. It was 100% of my brain capacity. That was a great time. I loved that.
All I thought about was N64 and walking over to 20 grand with my buddy Dave.
All you thought about was movies.
Yeah. You want to sneak into Hollow Man? Hell yeah, I want to sneak into Hollow Man.
Pedro.
Hi, Pedro.
Hi, guys. I have an opinion. Country singers ruin country music. We need more banjo and cowbells.
Hello.
Also, we did get a question on the Equitable Bank inbox from a person in our building. Would you like a Texas Roadhouse roll?
Hell yes.
Yes is the answer to that question. So we're going to go get those, and we'll be right back on 1620 The Zone.
He has the latest sports news, expert analysis, award-winning commentary, and a pocket full of cabbage.
Can you give us an indication why?
Just in case there's a sauerkraut emergency.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, so a couple spare opinions from me. I always feel shorted and I have an opinion.
Yeah, you don't get to get your takes
even
off.
though I sneak in some opinions, no doubt about it.
That's
So a
right.
couple things. During the break there, we were informed that there's Texas Roadhouse rolls. And I was like, sign me up. All the way in on that. And so Miss Cynthia comes in and she delivers us a plate of Texas Roadhouse rolls and the jug of the butter,
the cinnamon
butter, which is fantastic. When there's more, so here's opinion one. When there is more butter than there is roll, it is one of the most freeing feelings that a man can experience. It's like when there is more sauce than there is more chicken strips, than there is chicken strips, right? You know that you're not going to have to ration the sauce
You
or
can
the
just
butter.
go to town.
You could just absolutely rip it. What a feeling. What a feeling. So freeing. Second thing, as I was buttering my roll, not a euphemism, as I was buttering my roll, I thought,
what movie was that? Mean Girls?
I thought about the hunger that I experience on Thanksgiving and how little time little time I have when I have my plate all done and sat down to either take the space to put a roll on my plate or to get back up and grab the roll. But even if I have those things accomplished and I have the roll and I have the space for the roll, you cannot bother me to cut open the roll and place the butter inside the roll. Instead, I have to slap the butter on top of the roll. How disgusting am I? I don't know, but
that's what I do.
That is quite the feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have time to open up this roll. No. Put the butter right on the roll. I'll eat it. It's just as long as the butter gets on the roll.
We're being weird and gross today, so I'm going to be weird and gross and just butter the top or the side of the roll and just eat it. Whatever.
That's what I'm talking about, man.
Quite frankly, I have nothing but time on Thanksgiving to cut the roll in half.
Yeah, but
open it up.
Yeah, but while your plate is already dressed up and you're ready to it's over. There's nothing standing between you and a giant plate of turkey and mashed potatoes.
It's 2:30 in the
Except
afternoon.
for
and
buttering
dinner.
that roll. Could you imagine sitting there like cutting up your? No. I'm not gonna pre-cut my meat. I will choke to death on it. Why would I cut it? Like if it was steak instead of turkey on Thanksgiving, I'd probably just stab the entire steak with a big fork and try and shove it in there.
Hell yes.
Sorry. It's quite the image. Baymon writes in on YouTube.
Hi, Baymon.
Mark the calendar. Today is January 29th for the record.
Mm-hmm.
2 good food takes by Connor on the same day. Next thing you know, he'll have a couple good movie takes, and it'll be really special.
Oh. Would you like to
I've had
talk
good movie
about-
takes. Did you guys hear the crossover yesterday? I was ripping off so much movie stuff you couldn't even imagine.
I actually didn't hear a lot of the crossover yesterday.
Unbelievable. Can't believe you missed it.
I was in
we
a
talked
bit
about
of a meeting.
We talked about movies like the entire time.
Oh man. I'm gonna have to go back.
Yeah, I had some knowledge. I know about things.
The Cat in the Hat and Kangaroo Jack.
Those 2 movies weren't even mentioned.
Oh wow.
We were talking about good Bradley Cooper movies. What's your favorite Bradley Cooper movie?
Oh, good question.
Can't be The Hangover.
No, it would not be The Hangover.
Can't be though. So
Silver Linings Playbook, pretty good.
Okay.
That's what comes to mind immediately.
That is what Josh Peterson said, even though it's about the Eagles.
It is about the Eagles.
Yeah. And I recommended that people watch Limitless.
Mm-hmm. I know you're a big Limitless guy.
I know you turn up your nose to Limitless.
Fake baby.
And then I recommended Place Beyond the Pines.
Mm-hmm. You also love him in Nightmare Alley.
I do. I'm a Bradley Cooper guy. I might be.
Avengers Endgame.
He's not in that, is he?
Yes, he is.
Oh, he's the stupid raccoon.
Yeah.
No, that's not one of his best.
Wet Hot American Summer.
I always say Wedding Crashers. Sack.
Yeah, I watched that on cable this week.
Sack Lodge.
That's right.
One of the greatest characters in American cinematic history.
Finally, two great American families will be blended together.
You almost had it. You almost had a walk-in.
It started good, and then it kind of.
Yeah, you almost had a walk-in. Hey, like to introduce America. I think America got officially introduced to the Omaha Mavericks yesterday, Josh. Because, yes, we know them around here as the team who is very successful. They've won, 9 games in a row now.
That's what I hear.
7-0 in the Summit League, and they're going to South Dakota to play South Dakota tonight for Vermilion.
Large family breeding.
Generations. All right. But many are pegging the Omaha Mavericks as a potential March Madness sweetheart.
A darling.
And what did we talk about with March Madness sweethearts the other day? You have to be able to check these boxes.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain boxes that you have to check.
What are those boxes, Connor?
One of the very, very important boxes is you have to do something really weird. And then I would add to that and say you have to do something weird and really, really embrace it. Well, as we know, Omaha's weird thing is to cause property damage after their basketball games when they win. When Coach Kyan Brown comes into the locker room, he finds a trash can and he murders it. Whether it's hitting it with a baseball bat, smashing it with a hammer, throwing it against the wall, there will be a trash can that gets destroyed after Omaha wins a basketball game. And now we have the follow-up to it, which is the embrace. Yesterday, Omaha Basketball announced a one-time promotion for fans who attend the men's basketball game at Baxter Arena on this upcoming Saturday at 7 o'clock against the University of Denver, or Denver University, I guess. Bring your own garbage can. After each Omaha men's basketball win, associate head coach Kyan Brown kicks, hits, or throws a trash can in the locker room, a celebration that has taken college basketball by storm during the Mavericks' historic winning streak as Omaha sits in first place in the Summit League. Fans will be permitted to bring 1 5-gallon or smaller plastic trash can, no lids, to use as a popcorn container for Saturday's game. Of course, the concessionaire of Baxter Arena, Saver, will provide bags to put in your garbage cans to then be filled up with popcorn. And, of course, Saver and Baxter Arena reserve the right to not allow you to bring your trash can in if it is disgusting.
Okay, sure.
All containers must be cleaned and sanitized prior to entering the venue. They reserve the right to refuse any container deemed unsanitary or a potential health risk, which I think that's a great thing to put in the press release. Tickets are on sale now. omavs.com/ticks. So, Josh Hodson, we know this. You are a popcorn man.
That's right.
You love popcorn. Sometimes you go to the movie theater and you just eat popcorn. You don't even care about what you're watching.
I need the popcorn. I might as well watch something while I'm here.
Right. That's what you should do. I mean, I know you got like a blog that's going on right now where you're talking about stuff.
That's right.
What you really should be talking about is popcorn.
Popcorn reviews.
Popcorn reviews.
Okay.
Seems a little low brow probably, but I think you would do it well.
We could add that in.
So
sure.
I would imagine that we'll find our dear, dear friend Josh Hodson at the basketball game on Saturday evening.
Folks, we have unseasonable warmth this week. I advise all of you to use that warmth to get in your driveway and rinse out your 5-gallon trash cans.
Here's what I would say to that. Buy a new one.
Buy a new one?
Just go to the store and buy one of those little kitchen trash cans.
No, 5 gallons. They said
no, not kitchen, like bathroom. Like little, the little bathroom trash cans.
Yeah. They said I can have 5 gallons. I'm taking 5 gallons of popcorn home.
What is 5 gallons? What's 5 gallons visually?
And I'm going to lug that baby up the steps of Baxter Arena Saturday night. Yeah.
Wow. We're talking about like a big. No, that's 10 gallon.
10-gallon hat, 5-gallon trash bag.
I'm talking about yeah, like a trash can. The way you think about a big trash can, that's 10 gallons apparently. But what, like an office trash can? Hell, you could take one from the office right now. They clean them every night. Take one from underneath my desk, Josh. Fill it up with popcorn, and you are chilling.
Okay, I'm gonna get a orange Home Depot bucket. I'm gonna bring it in. I'm gonna say, fill this with popcorn, please.
Yeah, 5 gallons only, Josh. 5 gallons.
And I'm gonna root for the home team, and then I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna watch a movie because I've got plenty of popcorn.
Do you get free?
Do I get one free refill like at the movie theater?
Yeah, that's an important thing here. Mike Stibbs writes in.
Hi, Mike Stibbs.
To my question of what's 5 gallons, and Stibbs says 5 gallons of milk. Chris says 5 gallons is a Home Depot bucket.
Yeah, yeah.
Teresa says, "Hi, it's Josh here with the Popcorner podcast."
Popcorner, yeah.
But that would you would be sued because there's already a chip called Popcorners, I believe.
That was my lunch. That was my breakfast and lunch yesterday.
Of course it was, because they're new and exciting
No,
and
they're not
horrible.
new, but they're there. They're always there.
Dan writes in.
Hi, Dan.
Now, Dan brings up an interesting point because you have a bit of a checkered history with trash cans.
I do.
Will you take the trash can that you threw up in? That we just put an old box of dinner roll. That's more than 5 gallons.
That's more than 5 gallons, my friend. If they let me, I'd do it. You bet your bottom dollar. I'd fill this with popcorn.
So you like a 5 gallon bucket is like one of those, it's like a baseball bucket, right? Like
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
All right. Got you. Brian says, has Connor ever bought a 5 gallon bucket of paint?
I'm going to guess no, you haven't.
Bucket of paint? I've never bought. I'm sorry. I can't visually picture 5 gallons. No, I have never. So somebody had to explain it to me. Thanks, Stibbs, for saying it's like 5 gallons of milk.
Yeah, just picture that.
So
Pop
you are not taking the trash can you threw up in because it would be illegal.
It would be too big, and I would never say, "But I'm in the media. Don't you know who I am?"
Nobody would ever say that.
No.
Nobody would say that.
I'm a Hall of Fame baseball guy. Let me in.
Tom writes in.
Hi, Tom.
This ends badly if refs make a bad call to decide the game.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the other question that I was wondering, like, can we do something at the end where we all throw the popcorn onto the court or something? Like, or throw the trash can onto the court?
Is the guy I'm crammed into my seat next to going to have a 5 gallon bucket on his lap the whole game?
So yeah, you probably are going to have to go between the legs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what a picture it would be if we packed the Baxter and everyone's sitting in there with a trash can full of popcorn to watch the Mavs play basketball. I love this.
Now, I'm also going to be a bit of a stickler when I bring my 5 gallon bucket of popcorn up there. I'm going to say, I don't want the stuff you popped on Tuesday to get ready for this. I want the hot stuff, hot and ready.
No, the popcorn machines are going to be working extensively on Saturday.
Yeah.
They're going to have to do a lot of popping.
Hot stuff.
A lot of popping. So, congratulations to the Mavs. You have almost checked all the boxes. I would argue that the only thing they're missing is a really fat guy who's good at basketball. That's another staple of a March Madness Cinderella, like I love you type of team.
NC State.
Yeah, they need a fat guy, but I don't think they have that, so the trash cans will do.
First tourney bid, weirdo story.
Yeah.
And fat guy.
Yep. They don't have fat guy. I mean, maybe I could work for him again or something like that. I could work for him.
I'll do it.
They can hire me.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to get hired by people. People are saying that about me. All right. We'll be back after this on 1620 The Zone. All right, welcome back. Connor Happer, Josh Hodson with you in the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. We will talk about the Jays and the Tears. The Jays and the Tears? I mean,
Jays are going to give the tears tonight.
Well, because everybody says the Skurs for Huskers. The Jays is a shortened version of Blue Jays, so why isn't the Musketeers the Tears?
The Turs and the Gurs.
The Tears and the Gurs. They ever played Rutgers? I think they're the Tears.
Yeah.
That's what we're calling them. We'll talk about them here in just a couple minutes, but let's go back to another college basketball game from last night. A game that Josh was interested because he mentioned VCU on the show as one of his favorite mid-majors of yesterday, right? We were talking about weird mid-major teams.
Go Rams. Remember that time they beat Duke?
Well, I have really nothing to say about this, and I know no details except for I'm really glad that we have this picture forever. And I wish that it was bigger.
I see sideways.
Well, that's how he is. There's no, gosh dang it, I hate this thing. That man who is old is getting choked out by another man in the stands. The game, which was in the second half with a minute left, had to be put on hold for nearly 10 minutes as they sorted things out in the stands last night in St. Louis between SLU and VCU. But I'm just glad, Josh, like if you needed a thumbnail or whatever for today's YouTube video, there you have it. It's right there.
There it is.
We got dudes fighting each other in college basketball games these days. What is wrong with us? We got problems.
That Billiken passion just boils over.
It absolutely does. Too much Billiken passion. It's like Maverick Mojo. I hope it doesn't get that bad with the trash cans on Saturday. They were like, you got more popcorn in your trash can than I did. And then all of a sudden, old guy's getting choked out.
That's 6 gallons.
Ran out the arena. Oh, yeah, your trash can's too big. J-Man writes in.
Hi, J-Man.
Looks like that Eagles-Packers playoff game.
Oh, yeah. Did somebody say something about somebody's wife?
There is fights. Oh, that's what he's talking about. Yes. It does not look like that. I don't know. I hope not. I can't believe that guy said those things about that woman. That was horrible.
And didn't think we'd find out.
I didn't think we'd find out. It just kept saying them. He just kept going.
He did.
I cannot get into the shoes of these people. If you ever feel like you're in a altercation or you're about to be in an altercation, wouldn't you just probably walk away before it was time to get in a public fight at a basketball game that's on television right behind the bench with 1 minute to go in the basketball? Like, wouldn't you just kind of for a minute forget about your differences and maybe just walk away and de-escalate the situation?
I understand everybody has a different value system within their own, man's got a code or whatever. I've never been, that person disrespected me.
Me neither.
I have to defend my honor. I disrespect
It's
myself
my
on the
fists.
radio all the time.
Yeah, I know.
I don't care.
It's great.
Oh, you think I'm an idiot? You think I'm a slob? You think I'm a jerk? Okay, whatever, fine. You're probably right.
We're calm, laid back people, Josh.
Yeah.
We have the ability to
Now, if you're picking
not
on
act on
someone,
things.
if you're disrespecting someone,
Oh yeah, you are a stander-upper
yeah,
for people.
someone needs someone to stand up for them. I'm a superhero. Many are saying.
Mhm.
If no one else is going to, I'll be the person. But it has to be literally no one else.
Don't get in fights at basketball games.
Nah, don't do
Or football games, or don't get in fights.
Yeah.
Period. It just seems all unnecessary. By the way, before we take a break here and talk about the Jays and the Tears, we have quite the interesting tweet.
Oh.
So earlier we had a poll question at Happer Show. Thanos had a point? ? We had a tweet here from Real Beard that says half wasn't enough.
Oh no.
He should have snapped at least 2/3 of humans, and an argument for 3/4 of humans could be made. There's 8.2 billion on Earth right now. That would leave 2 billion, 50 million. I think things would work out. I don't know, man. If you snapped 75% of people on Earth, I just feel like that's going to cause some problems. Odds are that, what do we have? 8 people who are daily on 1620 The Zone, including the producers.
Yeah.
Only 2 of us are left. But just playing the odds.
Couple of 8-hour shifts.
Maybe we all survive. 1620 The Zone would be gone. It'd be very sad.
Now, I went up to the line of humanity had grown too large for the Earth's resources.
Yes.
That's where I stop with Thanos having a point.
Yeah.
Don't condone the murder.
This guy took it a step further. Redbeard said, actually, I think we should do more. I think we should kill 3/4 of people.
Also, that person's actual would lead me to believe that, yes, that this person believes in the things that they're saying.
Clean it out. 3/4. Go. All right, coming back, we'll take a look at a big game tonight in Omaha. Jays and Tears. And a couple more things, including Bill Connolly ranking the top 100 games of the college football season this year. We're still on Rocco watch. Don't worry. We're still watching the Rocco for you.
Haven't forgot.
1 o'clock hour coming on 1620 The Zone.
let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Here comes the clown.
All right, Creighton and Xavier tonight at the CHI Health Center. The final game of what has turned out to be a very fruitful January for the Blue Jays. Thank you for that grunt. It's Upper Bowl Appreciation Night.
What does that mean, Connor?
I don't know, actually. I mean, there will be giveaways and specific things for people who sit in the Upper Bowl. As far as what those things are, I really am not sure. I think there's a T-shirt. I imagine
that big Gatling gun.
I imagine that I'll be spending a lot of my time in the Upper Bowl this evening.
Absolutely.
A little afraid
Will there
of
be
heights.
seat upgrades?
No, but the people in the Upper Bowl, we have to recognize the people in the Upper Bowl. The Upper Bowl people don't want to go downstairs. They
Upper Bowl people don't want to be Upper Bowl people, though.
No, yes, they do.
They want to be Lower Bowl people.
The Upper Bowl camaraderie is special.
Now, that's true.
There is nothing like sitting in the Upper Bowl with your bros.
But
unless you could sit in the Lower Bowl
with your bros.
But we're appreciating the Upper Bowl tonight. Pregame will start at 6:00, and with Austin and John will take over at 6:30 from the Chai, and the game will start around 7:00. Who knows what happens with television these days? But 7:00 is good. 7:00 is good, Josh.
Yeah. Is there not a game before, is there?
No, they were advertising it last night on FS1 as Creighton was the start of the doubleheader. There's a game there's I think there's a Mountain West game after them.
Okay.
So maybe, I mean, usually they do the 5:30, 7:30, but in this case, I think it's a 7-9.
Well, let's
check FS1. Josh.
I'm trying. The internet's a little slow right now.
It is actually. I noticed this as well. I was trying to maneuver some things on
the
BART.
herd. First things first. Speak.
Yeah, you're going to want to go later in the day than that, Josh.
The Madhouse, NASCAR's return to Bowman Gray Stadium, is on before Xavier Creighton.
So that is taped. That will not be live.
I would sure think so.
Yep. So Jay's in tears, and then
UNLV at Utah State.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's right. Hey, that's a good game.
Yeah.
That's a big game for the Jays net.
Oh, that's right.
People forget that Creighton beat UNLV.
The net.
And people forget about the net. All right, so it's a huge game. By the way, a couple texts on Upper Bowl thoughts from you guys. Jeff says, leave it to Creighton to have an appreciation night for the poor people. That's not what's
happening.
That's not what's happening.
It's a tough ticket to get. If you don't get it right away, you're up in the Upper Bowl.
There's some people that have season tickets up there.
Sure.
Like I mean, if you didn't get in on the Creighton basketball train early, then it's a tough deal to get in. Also, Matt says, we want to be Lower Bowl. Josh is right. The Upper Bowl people want to be Lower Bowl people. All right. Well, I don't know what's going to happen tonight, but I'm excited to find out. I'll do whatever they tell me. And I will tell the Let It Fly shootout contestant that he only gets one shot at the half-court shot. One shot.
You only get one shot. Also, Connor, to you and the camera person tonight.
Yeah.
The lighting person tonight.
Of which there are many. I know it's really dark up there.
The stairs are very steep.
I know. I'm scared of heights.
Careful.
Every time I walk down those stairs up there, I feel like I'm going to roll over onto the court. It's terrifying.
My dad can't go to the arena anymore because it's too steep.
It's terrifying. It's really scary. I know. I'm scared. And it's dark and steep.
And it's not even a thing where I'm like, oh, you're being silly, Dad. No, like, yeah, okay, yeah. No, I understand.
I think I sat up there for a concert recently, and it made me feel a little bit better that the entire arena was dark. I don't know why, but I just felt like everybody was in the same shoes as I was, but it wasn't. I was doing a much higher wire act than those people up in the Upper Bowl. Anyway, basketball,
hoops.
Xavier has played an incredibly front-loaded schedule, and they need to find marquee wins. Can you believe this with Xavier? We've been talking about what Creighton's done in the, from the schedule perspective. in the early part of the Big East season. Basically, everybody's done one run through the Big East at this point. This is Creighton's 10th game tonight in the conference. And Creighton's played, they've played everybody once. They have return trips with everybody. They've played a relatively tough schedule to this point. Look at what Xavier has played so far. They've already played UConn twice. They won the game at home. They're coming off that win this weekend. They've already played Marquette twice, and they won on the road. They've already played St. John's twice. That is each of the top 3 or 4 teams in the league, depending on how you look at it. They lost both games to St. John's. And this is their first matchup against Creighton, who is the other top 4 team in the league at this point. I mean, I don't even know how that happened. That is a goo. I don't know how that even happened. But it's been really tough. And so they have been really fortunate to, like the thing that you hear about this team is they are really good, but their record is having a difficult time showing it because of what their schedule has been so far this year. And I think there's some truth to that. They're 5-5 in the league. This is a huge opportunity for Xavier to get a marquee win on the road. And then to finish out conference play, they have Georgetown, Villanova, Providence, DePaul, Butler, Seton Hall, a home game with Creighton, Butler, Providence. There's no top teams in the league outside of tonight, except for the one home game with Creighton. And that's March 1st. And I can pretty much guarantee you that Xavier is going to look like a different team when we get to March 1st. So if they win tonight, they probably have to be feeling like, oh, you got to include us in the top. Look at what we've done. We beat Marquette once. We beat UConn once. We beat Creighton once. Look at what we've done.
That's pretty good.
Right. Yeah.
Can't ask for a lot more than that in the Big East.
And we still have another, game with Creighton. Like if they're 6-5 after tonight, after that grueling start that they've had, they're probably thinking, you got to put us in this top group. But they still need to get quality wins. And so it's such a huge game for them. And that's one of the things that you wonder about right away. Like, oh, wow, we got a desperate team coming in, and they're good. Right? So Creighton's got to have it tonight. There's no doubt about that. The other thing, so 2 more things that I want to get into for the Jays game tonight. Josh, I would like to do this as much as we can before Creighton games if we have time. Take your role player of the night.
Oh, good bit.
Who's your role player of the night? Your role player pick to click. I have options. It's all the options.
Okay.
Isaac Trout, who doesn't miss shots anymore.
He doesn't.
Jackson McAndrew, Mason Miller, Jason Green, Fedor Zugic. Take your pick. Who do you want? Ryan Kalkbrenner, incorrect. You can't have him.
I can't?
No.
It's my son's favorite player.
You can't have Steven Ashworth, the fastest player, either.
Isaac Trout
can't have Jemiah Neal either.
Is on a hot streak. Jemiah Neal was the one I was having questions.
You can't have Jemiah Neal. Doesn't count.
He's graduated. This is a total vibes-based thing. I know Isaac Trout hasn't missed a shot in like 6 weeks or whatever. Jackson McAndrew.
Okay.
Little vibes based thing. Just
well, he keeps getting open shots.
Uh-huh.
He gets lots of open shots.
Uh-huh.
All right.
At home, those are more likely to fall than on the road, right?
So
for a guy like that.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this every game now for the rest of the year because it feels like it's coming, but I'm gonna do this until it hits. It's one of those things. Is like I'm gonna keep betting red even though it keeps being black. We are going to have the Fedor game at some point. There will be a Fedor game. And tonight I start the streak of claiming that it's going to be the Fedor game. He keeps getting starter minutes. Like, you watch him at practice and he's with the top group, like, and he feels like he starts to get it, that whole thing. But it just takes time to get up to speed and to the point where a guy like that can feel like he's playing fast enough to be able to make decisions in the moment. But there's no doubt that you see these flashes. We're going to have the Fedor game at some point. So let me just be the first right now to say tonight's the Fedor game. And if it doesn't happen tonight, that's fine. It'll be Saturday.
You have plenty of options down the stretch.
Yeah. It'll be the Fedora game.
Mm-hmm.
Also, thanks to Matt DeMarinis.
Hi, Matt.
Yesterday for pointing this out. So, I'm an avid KenPom user, Josh.
Yeah, your little KenPom thingy.
But if you go to Bart,
okay,
free Bart has some sortable. They have some really fun tools on here, and they have some charts and some sortable options, more so than KenPom has at their fingertips. Just like you can sort the data in ways if you want to tell a story. And so here's the story for Creighton. If you sort starting with the St. John's game for Creighton, if you start on New Year's Eve, or if you start on Christmas, same thing, whatever. Creighton has the 9th, well, now 10th, as I sorted again. They have the 10th best defensive efficiency in the country. 10th best defensive efficiency in the country. Number 10.
That's good.
Yeah. It is good. It is good. I mean, think about that. Like, it's just Ryan Kalkbrenner. And the rest of it is doing your assignment and not giving up the things that they don't want you to give up. And other teams' inability to consistent, like, it's the math equation that Mac always talks about. The whole, like, hey, we're going to make you take tough twos, and we don't, like, you can make 85% of them, but we still don't think it's going to be enough to beat us. And I've yet to see a team make 85% of them. So go right ahead. It's a bet at the beginning of every game. These are the shots that you're going to have an opportunity to make against us. You just have to make all of them, and you got to make them more than what we make in three-pointers, because you're not getting anything inside on Big Tree Man, and we're always assignment sound on the defensive side. We know who our shooters are, we know where we're at, and we know what we're doing. They don't like Stephen Ashworth. I mean, he does a really good job in one-on-one defense, but it's not like, oh yeah, this guy's a weapon. Right? Like, each of these guys just do such a good job. And then, of course, you have Ryan Kalkbrenner. Creighton, is creating a top 15 defense upon, basically on the shoulders of one guy for 4 years in a row. And if that's not on the Hall of Fame plaque, if that's not on the rafter, if that's not on the Hall of Fame speech after the year, then I don't know what is. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy what they've been able to do. And they're getting a lot better on offense too.
It's all starting to come together.
Kind of is.
For
It's
them.
weird how it happens.
It's interesting. Connor, before we go to break.
What's this all about?
Lot of talk here at 1620, the zone. When's it gonna happen? When is it gonna happen? Feels like it should have happened by now. When's it gonna happen?
Oh, did we get Rocco? Hold on.
A tweet from Husker football.
No. What is it?
Our annual dunk contest
boo.
will take place tomorrow night at halftime in the vault.
Trash cans. Bring your trash cans instead.
Trash cans? No.
Trash cans, like the UNO game.
Team needs the... This is Jeremiah Charles.
Yeah.
This is Quinn Clark.
Oh, do you have the list of the competitors?
This is Heinrich Harburg.
Heine?
This is Emmett Johnson.
Okay.
This is Connor Shute. This is Desan McCullough, who doesn't have a photograph attached.
That's okay. He's new.
Well, they don't even have a photo of them.
Connor who?
Shut.
All right.
SCHUTT.
He's got to be from Nebraska.
He had a photo of himself.
All right, cool. The dunk contest. So now you have more incentive to go to the basketball game.
That's
tomorrow.
right.
That
If you thought, if for any reason you thought about not going, now you would go.
Yeah, you would. By the way, I was sorting. So on the Bart thing, Nebraska, over that same period of time, is 71st in defensive efficiency. Remember how we were talking about them remember them when they entered the top 10 in defensive efficiency after, I think it was after the UCLA game, right? And now they've ripped off all these losses in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you want to know why? They stopped guarding people. It's crazy. It's crazy how opposite those seasons have gone. All right. Josh, thank you for that breaking news. It's appreciated.
I know it was important.
Big dunk contest overreaction coming up after this. Also, we're on Rocco watch. And also, great memory from the season. This Husker memory 2025 or 4 coming up next on 1620 The Zone. I've heard from a couple people who sit in the upper bowl at Creighton games who are saying,
some oopers, some
Connor,
uppers?
please come to my section, stand 6 feet away from me, and throw a T-shirt at me as hard as you possibly can.
The gravity's different up there, man.
The visuals of that would be bad. Connor finally goes to the upper deck and starts pelting people with T-shirts. We have already established that Connor has an absolute rocket for an arm, so that would hurt.
Here, poor person, you look like you need clothes. Here.
As hard as I can. Hey, but your wish is my command. So Doing some more sorting on Bart, Josh. Now, this is a small sample size, but it's larger than you want it to be. If you sort from, I don't know, let's say January 7th.
Seems like a random time.
January 7th.
Is that after the holiday?
After the holiday. It was 3 weeks ago yesterday. That also happened to be the same day that Nebraska lost to Iowa in basketball.
Oh.
If you sort
the turning point
from that day, where would you think that Nebraska ranks as far as defensive efficiency in the country? And these are all opponent, like, you know, you get boosts from just playing good teams, right? So you can't be you're not going to be 350 in adjusted defense. It's adjusted.
It's adjusted.
Yes.
125.
181. 181. It's very bad. But even worse, Josh. What's worse than 181?
I literally don't know.
That'd be 364th. What category is Nebraska 364th in, which is last in the country? Dead last in the country in college basketball.
Since January 7th?
Since January 7th.
Wins.
They're tied for last in that category as well.
Nailed it!
But maybe as a symptom of why they are still dead last in wins, they are dead last in 3-point defense.
Oh, yeah. People are just chucking it on them right now.
45% of the 3-point shots that are shot against Nebraska over these last 6 games have gone in the basket. That is the worst in the country. And really, it's not that close.
That's a lot of games.
It is.
It's not like, oh, one team got hot against them.
And everybody else has played 6 over this period of time, too. So it's not like, yeah, right.
It just skewed the numbers because one team was really hot. No, everybody's really hot against them.
They are more than a half a percentage point worse than Columbia.
Nerds.
Who's the 363rd 3-point defense team over the last 3 weeks. 3 weeks, Josh. 3 weeks. Last. And these are not weighted adjusted numbers because these are raw, baby. How many shots are going in? Ouch.
Columbia's lost 5 in a row.
Yeah. Yes, they are. By the way, Eastern Kentucky is third to last on this list. They have actually gone 3-3 during this period of time. Wow. They must be a wagon on offense.
People forget Columbia beat Villanova earlier this year.
That's right. Most of the teams toward the bottom of this list have not won a game in this period of time. Of course, Nebraska is
sure
one of those. Another one of those, by the way, is South Dakota. They're toward the bottom of the list. They allow many 3-pointers to go in against them.
Let them go in tonight.
See what the Mavs do about that this evening in Vermilion. Bill Connolly. What's Bill Connolly cooking up for us? I always wait during the summer. Bill Connolly will drop through with an article previewing. Here's the things that I'm watching or interested. Always great stat breakdowns from him and thorough lists. Bill Connolly has ranked the top 100 games in college football from the 2024 season. What a season it was.
The 100 best games?
100 best games.
Okay.
If there were to be a Nebraska game on the list, Josh, what do you think would make it?
What
was Nebraska's now from a objective observer? What was Nebraska's best game of the year?
I don't know that. Like,
is it the Ohio State game?
I don't know that it ever felt like Nebraska was going to win that game, though. I don't know. I'll say Ohio State just to kind of speed it up.
Thank you. It was Illinois. Remember that game went to overtime?
It did go to overtime. That was a fun little game, even though it didn't turn out Nebraska's way.
Some games are destined for overtime, Bill writes. Neither team led by more than a touchdown, and when Nebraska had a chance to go ahead late, Dylan Raiola missed wide open Luke Lindenmeyer.
Oh, that's right.
Then John Hull missed a 39-yard field goal. Illinois took advantage of the extra chance.
Used to that.
Illinois scored in the second play of overtime and then sacked Raiola 3 times in 4 plays to seal the win. People forget about 3rd and 42 in overtime on your own side of the field. So when I think about that game, I think about pain, really. And then I start to think about what could have been. I went down the road of like, all right, if they win that game, they are 6-0 going to Indiana. Does that change anything? And then I asked myself that question last night when I saw this list and I wanted to talk about it for a second, and then I thought, nah, actually it doesn't.
Yeah.
That game, so my takeaway is that game is actually quite insignificant.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been nice if Nebraska had to have one more win, but they would have been 6-0 going to Indiana. They probably still get absolutely crushed because the things are still the same. And because they had played 2 games, they beat Rutgers and Purdue immediately after they lost to Illinois before they went and played Indiana this year. So I don't think anything changes. And then you still fire your offensive coordinator and you still bring in a new offensive coordinator and nothing changes except for you get one more win. And now you have 8 or maybe you would have played Alabama in the playoff instead of Boston College, which maybe you wouldn't have one more win. Or maybe you would because Alabama didn't care about their bowl game, right? Remember?
And the SEC is terrible.
Yeah, the SEC is terrible.
I guess if you take stock into the mental, hey guys, we can do hard things mentality of a football team, maybe that does something. But yeah, I don't think it changes their win-loss record.
No. I started to go down that road and I thought, actually, this doesn't do anything. This does not do anything. Elsewhere on the list, so then you're wondering, all right, what were some of the best games of the year?
Yeah.
This is where Josh posthumously grunts the best games of the year.
Okay.
What were your favorite games this year? Number 1. Would you like to throw a game out there?
I'm trying to. And Michigan, Ohio State?
It's not. That's not the right answer, but
Okay.
I wonder how high on the list it is.
I feel like those playoff games, some of them were fun.
There's a few playoff games on here. Vanderbilt beating Alabama.
Oh, okay.
The number 1 game of the year. And then the number 2 game is Alabama's game right before that when they beat Georgia. So 2 of the best games of the season happened in an 8-day span, both involving Alabama.
Wow, weird.
Working out very differently for them each time.
Texas, Arizona State. Where's that at?
3.
That game was fun. It didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, but that game was fun.
How about one of the college football playoff semifinals? Kenneth, listen up. Notre Dame and Penn State. That's it.
Respectful, professional.
No, that was a great game. I loved that game. Number 5, Georgia Tech and Georgia. 8 overtimes.
Oh!
I was doing Big Red Overreaction.
It just kept going.
From this exact chair, ruining it for Jack Mitchell the entire time. It was like, Jack, they're about to score. I guess we're going to 7th overtime, and he kept getting progressively more angry as the night
was your
went along.
TV ahead of his? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Great bit.
October 5th, Miami 39, Cal 38.
Oh, that game was fun.
Yeah, we kind of thought Miami was going to.
What's a liberal grunt?
Well, don't try.
No.
Miami was undefeated at the time, and they were like getting by because remember the week before they had beaten Virginia Tech on like some bogus crap. Actually, that was the next game on this list, number 7.
You want to talk about refs handing teams wins?
They beat Virginia Tech on some bogus garbage, and then they survived with a furious comeback against Cal with College Game Day and the Calgorithm. That was one of the things that came out of this season. So there was 2 Miami games back to back. How about Colorado and Baylor? A little Hail Mary action. That game, Colorado had no business winning. This might have been one of my favorite games of the year. Arizona State and BYU. The one where everybody ran onto the field and Kenny Dillingham had to tell everybody to get off just to do the play one more time, and then they ran on the field again. That was good. Couple BYU games, BYU Oklahoma State and BYU Utah. BYU Utah, of course, ending in
a holy war.
So there was some questions about officiating and things of that nature. Remember, to the point where the Utah athletic director said, "We got screwed and I don't want to be in the Big 12 anymore."
That's right.
That was a fun time.
That's right.
Illinois and Purdue. Remember when Illinois and Purdue randomly went to overtime?
Oh, yeah, it did.
Back in the beginning of October. That's probably enough of the list, but yep. I love it. This is now a theme. If there's like a notoriously and obviously fun college football season, which I kind of feel like we had this year, we had a lot of wild upsets at the top. I don't know if it's any more than, I don't know if it stands out any more than in other years. But if we have this crazy year where it feels like anything could happen, how many times have we said that in college? Oh, man, anything can happen. It just, Nebraska's never a part of it. Everybody always talks about 2007, and 2007 was just like Nebraska wasn't, they were still finding ways to work on themselves during that period of time. Nebraska this year, still working on themselves. One of these days, Nebraska's going to be on this list 6 times for crazy wins and crazy losses. And I mean, that's how it used to be when they played important games.
Yeah, yeah.
And Bo would always somehow win games by 1 point every time. I don't know how he did the things that he did, or lose them by 60. But those probably wouldn't make it on the top 100 list, would they, Josh?
There were 2 true outcomes with Bo Pelini,
Yep.
yes.
Win by 1 or lose by 100. Or allow something historically bad to happen to you.
Or beat up a player.
Hey, that never happened. He swung on some refs.
Was really poking that kid that one time.
Yeah. Nebraska will be involved in one of these one day. One day. But that day is not today. Josh, we have the polls on the other side,
we got 'em.
Of which we had many. And we'll tell you what to watch and a couple other things as we return on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. All right, something cool here. The University of Nebraska has renamed their radio broadcast booth to the Greg Sharp radio booth.
Pretty cool little video they just put out.
Very. So on the outside of the door to the radio booth, which Greg has sat in and done games for many, many years now, is the transcript of the Nebraska Northwestern Hail Mary from 2013, with the words "final play of the game" and touchdown bolded out. That's really cool.
Really cool. They gave him one of those.
And he won Employee of the Month,
championship
apparently.
belts. Oh, he got Employee of the Month.
I believe he. Yeah, I think that's what the belt was for. The Husker of the Month.
Oh, that's a better parking spot for him.
So Dannon took him up there and he said, "Hey, since you're the Employee of the Month now, you're eligible for this. You can get the Greg Sharp radio booth."
Had to wait for you to be Employee of the Month, though.
Very, very cool, and a deserved honor.
Absolutely, his
For
whole
sure.
family there looks great. Well done by the athletic department there.
All right, Josh, let's go to the polls here.
Polls, we got them.
Yes, we do. We stay having the polls as always. Let me pull them up real quick. At Happer Show. Oh, can we just quickly check in with yesterday's real quick?
Please, let's.
When watching The Lion King, did you want to eat the bugs that they got out of the big log?
It was 75% no. You pleaded with the audience 24 hours ago to flip that to 75%.
I thought maybe we could do it. We got less than 1%. 74.3% ultimately said no. So
that's right. Who would
goes
want to
show
eat
how much
bugs?
control I have over stuff. The polls from today: Big Nate ?
I don't know who the hell you guys were talking about.
I don't either. I don't know who that
Okay.
is. I
I'm
don't
sorry
know.
to lump you in
No,
there.
that
I'm
was
sorry.
not me. I don't know what the children are doing. What's Big Nate? No.
Captain Underpants and Big Nate.
61% say no.
Good take, audience.
Do you want your boss to use the word juicy?
If I get to pick, no, I don't.
Yeah, it's a yes or no question. So no, I don't want that necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
No. I wouldn't horribly dislike it, but I don't want that.
There's certainly worse words.
Yeah. 79% say no.
Wow.
Is Brett Bielema getting after it?
Yeah.
80% say yes. Does your cat care about you?
I don't
Now,
think so. I don't think so.
how did the catless answer this question?
I thought about having a third option. I don't have a cat, but
No, we don't do that.
yeah.
I'm going to say no, judging from the outside. It certainly doesn't seem like it.
Mhm.
78% say no. And finally, Thanos had a point? ? Yes or no? Josh?
Up to a clearly defined line that we defined earlier in the show.
Murder.
Yeah. No.
Murder of many people at all the time.
The population is too large to support its resources.
I'm just going to say no on
Line.
this one. I'm going to say no. The real killing thing is a non-starter for me.
I'll put the toe out there and say yes.
It's a non-starter for me. 67% say yes, which is coincidentally about how many people you'd murder if you really believe this garbage. You guys are sick. Sick. By the way, a couple follow-ups on the bugs question.
Okay.
Cats are funny writes in. 78% of you are very wrong. Or maybe that's about the cats.
Probably, since the name is Cats Aren't Funny, right?
Aaron says, my pig, who looks a lot like Puma, loves worms. So it's not even a cartoon truth. It's a truth. We found out about him liking worms after rain when he ate a couple that had come up on a sidewalk during a walk. And he, yes, goes for walks. He's a pig and he likes to eat worms.
Yeah, the movie's
But he
accurate
thought
to the animals.
But
yeah.
he thought the worms looked good.
Oh, okay.
It's a truth. It's a real truth. Jeff writes in, was there killing though? They kind of just dusted away. They came when they were dusted, they were dead. They went back in reverse time. Spoilers. They jumped into the time space continuum and changed time. Yes, they were dead.
Yeah.
They were dead. There was killing.
For all intents and purposes.
They were dead.
Yeah.
And they got him back. Great job by Ant-Man. Doesn't work without that guy.
Pim particles.
All right, Josh, what are we watching tonight?
We're watching basketball. Hoops. The Jays host the Tears.
That's right.
Tonight, 6 o'clock.
I love all my Upper Bowl people.
On 1620 The Zone. Upper Bowl Appreciation Night. If you want to watch it, I don't know why you would. 7 o'clock on FS1. Number 1 Auburn at LSU. 6 o'clock on SEC Network. Number 17 Wisconsin at newly rich basketball school Maryland.
That's right. Hey, I just found $10 million.
Scott Van Pelt's couch. 6 o'clock on BTN. Number 4 Alabama and number 14 Mississippi State. 8 o'clock on SEC Network. Omaha. The Mavericks are at South Dakota. You can listen to it on 1290 at 6:30. Support Gary over there. None of those games on ESPN because the NBA is on ESPN.
Oh, is Hector
tonight.
Banana Bread playing?
No, he is not. Young man by the name of Nikola Jokic is playing at Madison Square Garden tonight against the Knicks at 6:30.
How long before Nikola Jokic gets angry and
starts trying?
No.
And taking over the league?
No.
He does that about this time every year.
Not that.
Okay.
Like he starts physically harming people.
Oh, like his brothers?
No. His brothers would help him physically.
Yeah.
Just like when
similar to the fashion in which his brothers hurt people.
That before the Nuggets were like championship contenders every year, he was kind of had a he might still have a reputation of a bit of a dirty player.
Russian mobster. Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know if we're going back down from championship level to Russian mobster again.
Your nightcap, Thunder Warriors, 9 o'clock.
Thunder Warriors.
NHL doubleheader on TNT, the Flyers and the Devils at 6 o'clock.
Oh, watch out for them Devil now. Sorry.
Thank you. And then the Penguins, Omaha's team, the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah.
Take
Many
on
cities team.
The Utah Hockey Club at 8:30.
Oh, that's your team.
No. I'm a crackhead. Go
crack wagon.
Go Kraken. And then Netflix has a 4-part docuseries on O.J. Simpson.
Oh, really?
We've done this, people.
Yeah, we don't need to do that again.
We've done this to perfection multiple times, but American Manhunt, O.J. Simpson, premieres on Netflix tonight.
And this is this a with real footage? What is it offering to
I
us?
don't have that kind of info.
Is it offering something that the others didn't?
I believe they have new interviews with some of the legal people involved.
For henceforth, nothing about O.J. Simpson will interest me unless someone comes forth and says, he told me he did it.
He told me he did it.
And
I have
that's
video.
it.
He recorded a video in my basement where he said, I did it.
I've seen all of the content. I've seen all of the shows. I've read all of the things. It's all there. We have it all. It's all on the surface. So until someone comes up with more information and says, he told me he did it, I'm no longer interested in O.J. Simpson.
Made in America is quite possibly the greatest documentary ever made. It is 8 parts. It won an Oscar. ESPN did it. Watch that.
There you
go. And on Disney Plus, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. That's right. We need another show about Spider-Man. This one's animated, slightly different than the other ones.
Oh.
First 2 episodes on Disney Plus today.
Who voices it?
Great question.
Okay.
I deleted that. Let's see.
Of course you did.
I'll just hit Control-Z a whole bunch. What If's Hudson Thames. I don't know who that is. Thames? It's probably a child.
I don't know any of those words you just said. Josh, thanks.
Thank you, Connor.
That's the show. If you missed anything, you can find it all on our website, 1620thezone.com. Time for the crossover coming up next.